Okay.
All right. Smooch. Happy Squatch-tastic New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
You know, this is coming out as I was doing it. That's pretty cool. Let's see if anybody comes in. I know it's late. Everyone's been partying.
Well, that was the notification just went out.
Ah, you just got the notification?
That ding ding ding. You heard the kid. Yeah, that was.
Okay.
That's how long it takes to go out. You're on about 15 second delay.
Ah.
Just so you know.
Ah.
Good for you. Good thing to know, huh?
Ah. All right, we got someone in here. It's Weasel. All right.
That's all right.
I'll give it.
I won't be bombarded with questions.
Excuse me.
Really?
Okay.
Skunk apes in?
No.
No, you called me a skunk ape. Oh, what's up? Oh, that's Weasel. Oh, there's somebody else in here. You know, there's two people.
Oh, okay.
I bet it's Biggie.
Might be.
I know Biggie's up. Hello. Happy New Year.
Well, it's not even Happy New Year where Ramona's at.
Really?
Yeah, she's like 3 hours behind us.
Oh, wow. Oh, it's Harold. What's up, buddy?
Happy New Year.
Okay. Well, now we got Harold in here. That's cool. We got Weasel in here, even though he's sitting over there on the other side of the camera. Oh, Sister Ramona. What is happening? Aho.
Aho.
Yes. Oh, we got a few. I wasn't expecting that many people in because of the New Year's and all that. But we decided we wanted to do the origins of Squatchtopic.pa. You just woke up. You know what? We wanted to do this earlier. I go in her room. She's getting the kids put to sleep. I go
Johnny
in there.
fought so bad tonight.
She was sleeping, so I wake her up. And then I lay on the bed and I fell asleep. Then it took her like an hour and a half to get me to wake back up. It's funny. Mr. Weasel, you reading the comments, buddy?
Yes, I am.
Mother just said hello to you. She can't hear you, buddy.
Oh, I know. I said oh. I said oh. I typed it in.
Oh, you typing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Why
was
don't you
typing
just
it.
say it? They can hear you, man.
Well, I understand that, but I figure I'll let you guys do your.
You're part of it.
I know, which is
All right,
the
guys.
origin is.
Well, we're gonna go ahead. You were talking to grandson.
In Japan.
Oh wow, Japan. Cool. Mr. Miyagi was from Okinawa, and then he met Daniel-san, and then he met Julie's-san. I like how that kid. Okay, well, the origins of Squatchtopic.pa starts with her. All right, where we do our expeditions at, where we have all our activity. Okay, Marine Corps. Okay, hoorah! Is what they say. Charhead Clan is what I call the Marines. But pretty much the Squatchtopic, it all starts with her. Technically, I mean, she grew up here her whole life. You know, January 3rd will be 16 years of her and I being together. And 2 weeks into our relationship, she looked at me one night and she said, you know, there's these giant, naked, hairy people in the woods, and they take people's animals and they kill livestock and they stalk your house. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're nuts. And I started laughing at her. And she never mentioned it again for 12 years, if I'm not mistaken. Wait, she didn't talk about it again until she was able to say, I told you so. And that was in 2018.
Yeah.
October, because I started my research in October of 2018. and she mentioned it to me in January 2007. She went all those years without talking about it. But hey, here's Jessica, my wife. I'm going to let her tell you guys about this area and things she's experienced growing up here.
Well, Origins of Squatch Topic is a broad subject whenever you come to it. It actually starts from when my grandparents moved here. They moved here in 1942. My grandfather became the minister of the local church here. If you follow Mike MT Paranormal Life, that is the church that he investigated.
The old cemetery.
That was the old cemetery. My grandfather was the minister of that church for 43 years.
Happy New Year's, DA.
So my family's been on this ridge for a long time. And then whenever Pap retired from the church in 1987, he retired the same year that I was born. They decided to buy a property of land about a mile from the church. And that's where they decided to set up a homestead here. And they built a modular home here, and it was surrounded by a grove. And
it's
that's
right
where,
across the street.
Yep.
There. Just flip the camera around. Right across there, where that light is. Here's Weasel.
Yeah, looking at the phone.
Yep. And in 1989, whenever my mom and I moved back to live with Graham and Mom, and with Graham and Pat. Pat passed away in 1991, and I was pretty much sheltered from a lot of the strange. But as a child, my grandmother would tell me that the boogeyman was outside, and once it became dark, I wasn't allowed to go out anymore, and that we had to lock the doors and windows and shut the blinds because he would spy in the house.
And mind you, when we're out here,
And that's how I was raised.
and
And told to
there's
leave.
more cows than people out here.
Yeah. Literally, it's just farmland. But being told that as a child that literally the boogeyman was outside, and once it became dark, you weren't allowed to look out the windows, you weren't allowed to go outside. You're afraid to let your dog out as a child. The adults had to put dogs out at night, not the children. We weren't allowed. And then I had a very weird experience whenever I was about 5, maybe 6 years old. My uncle had come in to visit my Graham. He was my grandmother's brother. He's my grand uncle. And he was supposed to be watching me in the backyard. And he went into the house for something. And he left me alone out there. And I just remember being alone. And him not coming back, and not coming back, and not coming back. And the next thing I remember, I'm in the house and in the bathroom with my mom. And my mom's kind of hysterical, telling me that I'm okay. But I'm dirty. I've soiled myself. I don't know where I was or what happened between the time period of that.
Or how long
I was gone. I have no memory. I have tried to remember. I have no memory. All I remember is that I was sitting in my sandbox, and I was like, how long is Uncle Charlie going to be in the house? And then I was in the house with my mom. So.
Okay. You too, John.
And so I don't know if one of them tried to take me. I don't know if they used infrasound on me. I have no clue what happened to me, and no one ever told me. And the people that I can possibly ask are all deceased. My mom's been gone for 18 years. My Gram's been gone for 16 years, and my Uncle Charlie's been gone for about 12 now. So I have no clue what happened to me. I'm about to cry over that.
What you tell them about?
Whenever, and I would be playing out the backyard. I remember, now that I'm adult, I can look back and remember things that just weren't right. I would hear things that just didn't sound normal, but my mom would trump them off as if that's just a different animal sound. Like, you would hear real loud knocking, and she'd tell me, oh, that's just a woodpecker, but it was really loud and like not a normal woodpecker sound. As a child, I would hear it.
What Mike heard when he went to the cemetery.
Yes.
He gave me a funny look.
There's sounds in my woods that sound like dinosaurs screeching. And it literally sounds, if you've watched like Jurassic Park, like the pterodactyl screeching. Josh has heard it.
Weasel's heard it.
And I don't know where it comes from. And my mom used to say, oh, it's just sounds from the highway. And I'm like, that's what she always used to tell me.
Well, that's what I tell him. That's what I tell Josh every time. He goes, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's like a tractor trailer on a highway." He goes, "Dude, the highway's like pretty."
Yeah,
far."
it is pretty. If you look on the map, it's way too far to be hearing it. We're at least 10 miles away from it. So there's no way that we're hearing it like that. And then I remember playing in the backyard, and you could see these things in the woods every once in a while. And I thought it was my eyes like playing tricks on me, because it would look like, if you've ever seen a road on a hot day, it would look like the heat coming off, like the wavy lines, like how it makes it look like blurry, but you can see through it still, but it's blurry, like the heat coming off the hot road. But
she's talking about the predator effect.
But you would see it like on the side of a tree.
Cloaking.
And I just thought it was my eyes playing tricks on me, because Mom told me I had a stigmia or something like that. I was like, oh, it must just be that. So I just trumped it up to that whenever I was a kid. But now looking back, and Josh is catching these things, the same thing that I was seeing as a child on his trail cams. And now I'm like, dear Lord, it wasn't my eyes playing tricks on me. I had Graham, as she got older, developed dementia, Alzheimer's, and she actually called the state troopers on them a few times.
On the Sasquatch,
I believe, because she would literally call and make a statement that there was a black male wearing black clothing standing watching the house at the edge of the woods. And
Popo come too.
About a half hour later, because of how far out we live, they'd show up and they'd have to walk the woods. And as you've seen, whenever Josh was in the site 2,
that's the woods that was her side of the
how
woods.
many jaggers was through there, why the state troopers would almost cuss my grandma out whenever they were done, because there was one that had a brand new uniform and he was jacked off and he got all snagged up because of all the jaggers. Oh, he was hotter than a wet hen.
Chasing the boogeyman.
Yep.
Now look, we're out there chasing them. Well, not you, but
Yeah, at
Weasel
night
and
I
I.
won't set foot in these woods. Heck no. I know what's in them. I'm not. No.
Bet he got scared.
Yeah, he said the cops never could find anything. They said they don't see no evidence of anyone being there. They never seen anyone. And if we happen to see them again, call is what we'd always be told.
Which is funny because they probably saw the footprints and they said, well, there was no evidence of the person you described on 911. Is it here?
Apparently, but anything else? I used to go in the woods at night. I actually used to hunt these woods avidly whenever I was a teen.
Sorry, I'm scanning the tree lines.
You're fine, honey.
I always do that. It's thermal.
What changed all that was, well, first, what made me stop hunting by myself during the day was I was almost killed by a rabid deer.
Babies.
No, but it pretty much I don't know what was wrong with it. It was a 9-point buck. He weighed about $180, and I was about 100 pounds wringing wet at that point. And I had my back up against a tree watching a deer trail. And here he came walking by. I took one shot, nailed him right in the side. He should have dropped. He didn't drop. Instead, he turned and came charging at me. I fired off another round. I hit him square between the eyes. He still didn't drop. And
I haven't been long at all. 16 minutes, 17 minutes.
I literally emptied my entire magazine into him. My 30-30 held 6 at that point. And yeah, the butcher was one of my mom's friends at that point. He literally took 2 slugs out of the deer's head. And I literally had to beat the deer's head in with my buttstock of my rifle in order to get it to subdue.
Deer slayer. She's a warrior.
So, and I'm shaking telling this story because, yeah, I was terrified at that point.
I've been having problems getting Biggie's notifications too, David. When Biggie goes live. And
So-
you know I'm a subscriber for him.
Well, Squatch B said that she's been having problems getting anybody's notifications.
Squatch B. Oh, she's the one who sent us the knocker. Yeah. Cha, 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 cha. It's got stomach.
But yeah, that's what made me stop hunting by myself during the day because, yeah, that was just a little scary after that point.
Tell what to tell about your dog.
That's what I was getting to. That's what made me stop going in the woods at night. That's whenever I realized that everyone had been lying to me. And no one was willing to admit the truth to me either because they were like, nope, your eyes were just playing tricks on you. You were scared. My Uncle David and I were out coon hunting and we had released the dogs and they were barking at something. We thought they had treed a coon. And we could hear them and bark, 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 baying, baying, baying. We're running through the thickets and everything else. And that was down over that way.
Towards where the Mega X is.
Yes. We probably ran straight past it. Literally going straight past that. Probably
Not
about.
where that meant, because you were watching, weren't you?
Yeah.
Where the X is.
Yes. But
You know those woods.
if he would have showed you the picture that I sent you of the map of where, I don't have my phone, I can't show you it. The map of where this is and where Aunt Ruth and Uncle David's is. And it was the woods in between that were where we were at. And this huge black thing, because I didn't even know what it was at that point, because I never even heard the word Bigfoot or Sasquatch because I had been so sheltered from it.
Squatch. Oh, I got these maps on my phone.
Yeah, but Aunt Ruth, Uncle David.
Yeah.
Sure. It was somewhere between here and here that we were.
Yeah, because that's where the here, I'll show. everybody. She's talking about the stretch of woods between here and here. This is where she would hunt. That mega, am I even on the thing? All right.
Now you are.
The mega axe was about right here. Okay. So she's talking about this stretch here.
It's somewhere. We were somewhere in there.
That's the old mine entrance down there. The abandoned mines. Okay. Sorry.
Well, because I used to help Uncle David skin coons, catch squirrels, rabbits, everything like that. We'd tan the hides. I used to do. I used to do all that. And then, yeah, that night was different.
Sasquatch reaped out and scooped up
Yeah.
the doggy.
Well, came upon it. It literally came right out from behind the tree. Grabbed the dog. And that's the last that I seen her. She was gone. That thing is turned and was gone. I don't know where it went. It just disappeared. But it wasn't a bear. It had a human-like face. It was at least 9-10 feet tall. It was huge. I'm like, if it was a black bear, it wouldn't be that big. Yeah. And my Uncle David yelled and said, "Run, it's a bear." I'm like, that wasn't no bear. That was no bear.
Sasquatch.
And he kept telling me there was a bear over and over. I'm like, that was no bear. He kept trumping it up and trying to tell me. I'm like, no. And later that was the fall. Later that spring, we were hunting for squirrel, and that's whenever we found her collar.
How far away from the
So it was good ways away from where she was taken. I know that was nowhere near. But that was the only part of it I found. Because you see the ridge, everybody knows everybody. If she would have been running loose, somebody would have found her and returned her to us. No one ever found her. So I don't know what ever happened to her.
I know what happened.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it, Josh.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying.
But we have chickens come up missing. We have dog. I know that I had another dog literally just go poof, vanish out of our front yard. We had our one neighbor's one dog went poof, vanish out of their yard. We have cows go missing. It's different out here. It's nothing to mess with.
You got me and Weasel.
I know.
Is there anything else that you could recall Sasquatch related or orbs even?
Yeah.
Weird things.
My grandma had a real weird experience with an orb once. She said that one entered their house, and literally all of the curtain rods in the entire house curled up as it went through the house.
Just a ball of light.
Yeah, it was like a lightning ball.
That is a natural phenomenon.
Yeah.
Like ball lightning do go across the ground, and it looks like an orb, but
Yeah.
when it does touch objects that is neutrally grounded, like they have a video of it going across the train tracks, and you can see electricity hitting the tracks, so you knew that was just a straight out ball of lightning. So they do exist, but down here, these ball of light, I have posted on the Weasel file.
You've seen them.
that they're there.
They're-
I've
they-
seen them. Josh, I've seen them. We
Yeah.
have recorded.
You've
I have it on my cam.
Josh caught him on the trail cams.
And Josh has it on his IR. I have.
He has them on his trail cam at home. I've seen them.
Oh, you do. You do.
Yeah.
Got some
Dude,
more-
I got so
Oh,
many
yeah.
pictures of
you
Oh.
got
orbs.
more orbs.
I got
Okay.
thousands upon thousands of trail cam pics. I've got that. I've been putting trail cams up here since 2018, and I didn't understand the whole cloaking deal until just recently, which sucks because I have discarded so many pictures that I was thinking, oh man, this trail cam sucks. Look at this blurry spot. This damn thing is a piece
Everything's
of crap.
clear in the picture except for this one little blurry spot.
And now I know
And
what
that-
we're
and-
looking
and-
for.
And I started looking. I'm like, Josh, look at the picture. Why is everything else clear, crystal clear, except for that one spot?
Mhm.
It don't make no sense, does it?
Or you'll see the pictures and you'll have the blue ball here. Next picture, the blue ball's over
Yep.
here. Yeah. We got a lot of Happy New Years.
Happy New
Year! But let's see. A little bit of history of this area. She has a book.
Definitely, it was Indian battlegrounds here before it was settled back in the 1700s here. So who knows what happened on these grounds here? Truthfully,
I mean, you got Revolutionary War. You have the Lord Dunmore War of 1774. If you don't know your history, I know Ramona knows this history because it's Native American. Now, if you take the area of where the War of Dunmore War was fought, it was all over territory because you had the Six Nations, and they were the Algonquin speaking nations. And what happened? Love you guys. Oh, we love you too, Patsy. Well, what happened was this tribe would tell the whites, hey, you could have the land to this ridge, this mountain ridge here, and then we'll hunt over here. And then the other tribe over here don't know. They gave them this land over here, and they're saying, oh, no. This is ours to here. And it caused a lot of conflict. Well, what happened was the Dunmore War started, and here in Pennsylvania, anybody knows that out here, the terrain is rough, and the winters are pretty crappy if you're not equipped for it. Well, think back in the 1700s. What happened was you have battle. All your prey, your deer, everything you're going to eat is gone. I mean, the animals ain't going to sit there in a battleground and get shot up. So they're just going to migrate away from the conflict. So winter came. The land became desolate. There was nothing to eat. You have no greenery to forage. You have no prey to kill because they have all left. The lands were barren. And unfortunately, the white settlers had began hunting the Native Americans down and consuming them, which is messed up. But that's part of the history that happened here. As a matter of fact, where we camped, this all was Native American battlegrounds, and it's referred to as Bloody Ground. But that was in the 1700s. You know, it's a long time ago, but history still holds strong on ground. You know what I mean? Especially if you think into the different subjects that could arise of that. I mean, you're dealing with cannibalism. So if these grounds are cursed and there was cannibalism involved in it, that means that there's a possibility of the curse of the Wendigo. You know? We have Sasquatch here. We have Dogman here. Or we call them adlets, but most people call them Dogman. You never seen an adlet, have you? Out here.
not sure.
Weasel has. I have. Your dad seen it the one day looking out the window. Tell them what your dad said to you about the headlight. You should have seen his face when he seen it run across the yard.
You can describe it because he described it to you.
He did. He told me. He's like, oh, it was couldn't be a deer. It was too light of a color to be a deer. It was too big to be a deer, but it looked like a big dog, but it wasn't a dog.
Mhm.
But it had ears like a dog. And then I'm like, well, Jim, this is what I've been telling you about, showing you pictures of. He just walked out the room and went in the kitchen, and then he told Jess he saw a white bear run across the yard.
And I was like, Dad, we don't have polar bears here.
Yeah, we don't have polar bear here, especially with.
And
a
then
dog
you should
head.
have seen his face really look dumbfounded.
But is there any other things that you could think of around here when you growing up from here?
Well, so that they know how I got from that side of the street to this side of the street. Mama got sick and passed away, and then these nice folk over here took me in and adopted me. So that's how I got from that side of the street to this side of the street, honestly. So that's why Josh is on this side, and he keeps telling you that I grew up on that side. Just so anybody's clarification on that.
Yeah. What's up, Weasel?
He heard or seen something.
What's that noise?
That's what I heard. Was that what you just heard? And then I had to move my head a couple times because I was seeing some kind of like shine or something right there. So I got to go up and look and make sure it wasn't right there by the
See,
bushes.
man, out here you can't just sit down and chill at night.
No, you can't.
Like last night, I went on the back balcony. Your family of the clan, yep, they like me. They do like me. But I went on the back deck. So
Yeah,
this is 2-story here, you
But
know.
the back deck they purposely made with no steps going up to it, so that Mom would feel safe going out at night.
Well, I went on there last night.
Am I not right?
Yeah, that is right. But I went out there last night. Weasel's laying on the couch in the living room. I went out there, and it was on the roof. I don't know which one of them it was, but it was on the garage roof, looking in the window at Weasel. And I
What
looked,
garage roof was it
it was
on?
right over here.
Are you kidding me?
No, I ain't kidding you. Ask him. I was like wigging out. I'm like, yo, dude, it was on the roof looking at you through the window.
I told you,
It
they're
was
window peepers.
Yeah,
Graham was right. I told you.
it was literally on the roof over here from the garage.
She's talking about Jess being part of the plan.
Oh, well, yeah, man, that thing was looking through the window. And how many times have they come up and slapped the side of the house in our bedroom? at
I
night?
told you.
Like I've been gifting them for a long time, and then I started going down there with my Bluetooth speaker, playing kids' music for them and whatnot. And I mean, they actually dance. Believe it or not, Weasel's seen it.
Oh yes, I even have it captured on my monoculars.
Did you?
Night vision. I have a beautiful eye shining dance by them, and it was really awesome to watch.
Well, they
Yeah.
do the motion like this, and
Yeah,
their butts just about
this was-
touch the ground.
this was amazing. This seemed to be totally in
That's
sync.
awesome.
They made their eyes look like they were floating bugs, lightning bugs in the sky,
Oh, yeah, chocolate.
just moving around like how they were doing. They were moving in and out like a perfect dance, unique with the group.
Mhm.
You know, it was like a group, and right after they're done dancing, one by one,
They just
I
leave.
had the eye shines leave one
Yeah.
by one.
When
then
they
it was
turn it on,
totally
they just
dark.
leave.
It was totally dark, and then all of a sudden, I guess the very last one might have been the biggest one, because when it left, all the lighting from the roadway and that come pouring in, And that's how I noticed how much light that came through, how big of that thing that shadowed out that light stood there and allowed the
Well,
eye
if I'm not
shines to the
mistaken,
stance.
Weasel, that night we did that, the next morning when we got up, that's when we was looking around and I casted that handprint that was in the ground. And then I got mad because we turned around and started looking around trees and we found that 21-inch print. And I was like, oh, I should have casted this.
Yeah.
That 21-inch print. That's the same. That was from the night we was playing the music and they were all dancing. Where that, because if you look at the print, you have the print and you have a little print next to it. Yeah, they was all down there dancing. That's why the prints were like they were. That was pretty cool. The bad habit: don't smoke. Nicotine's not good for you. It's bad. Well, did you just hear that? Oh, I cannot wait till David sends me that call. They're going to be doing that at me.
I heard that earlier.
And I'm going to be doing it right back at them.
Yeah, I heard a couple times the owl calls. They were calling down over that way behind us.
Were they?
They're calling for you to come in.
I bet they were.
They were calling.
I bet they were. They like them apples. Jess got me. Wait, where is it? She got me a new fidget toy from when we were in the woods. This little bird call, which is kind of ironic. She gets me a call for something I'm scared of. I don't like birds. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much, David. You're awesome. Here, let me go. I think I know where the call is. I'll go grab it. Jess, go ahead and keep talking.
You mean get a word in edgewise with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like I said, until I was about 16 years old, I was completely sheltered from this thing. I had no clue it was out there. I had no idea. And now the evidence is definitely there. You just have to look for it. Know what you're looking for. If you walk into my woods out here, it's not like normal woods really anywhere else. If you go into like a park forest area that for hiking, you don't see this. Because I've seen, I know exactly what structures Josh is talking about over there that looks like little places for things to live in. And I just thought that they were odd whenever I was deer hunting through there. I know, and I thought it was odd how trees would fall weird. How it would look like they were turned upside down in the woods back there. Michael Day would just say, oh, we must have really had some strong wind. Yeah, that strong wind to do those. It wasn't wind now that I look back. It's just odd how they shelter the children around here from it. And I think it's to make sure that they're not afraid of it. But
It's in the bedroom, and I don't want to turn the light on and wake up the kids. Waking the kids up is a no-no.
yeah, it definitely is a no-no.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'll show you it next time. I got a pocket full of batteries, though. Got batteries out the yin-yang.
Unlike our kids who knows that Bigfoot exists.
Yeah. Yeah, my daughter loves Bigfoot. She's actually seen him too.
Yeah.
She used to stand on the back deck here, and she called gorillas oo-oos. And she used to always come and tell us that when she'd go on the back deck that she's seen Ooh standing in the woods watching her.
Yes, like I said, I wonder if I was seeing him as a child. I just have repressed memories and don't remember it.
Well, it's like it's traumatized Jessica so bad out here that I mean, this is like a $200 and some $1,000 home here.
Nope. And Dad offered me the house, and I said nope.
Unfortunately, the house is gonna go to the church. She doesn't want the Sasquatches watching our kids grow up.
Because I feel like they literally stalked me.
Weasel, did you fart?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, dude.
That's you see me going over here like
Lord.
You see, this is why I put the farts at the end of my things on that intro I put
Well,
up
you
there.
did it first, buddy, and yours
That's
is loud.
yeah.
Everybody heard that. Mine
Nobody
was
smoked
silent and
mine.
deadly. That's
Oh
the
my
beer
goodness.
coming out. I had one too many today.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Mr. Weasel, he's the skunk ape.
You're farting next to me.
Excuse me. Sorry, guys. That was inappropriate.
One's farting this way, one's farting this way.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, everybody. That was rude. Oh my God. Sorry, Jess. Oh, show everybody the beautiful earrings Miss Ramona made you. Ain't those pretty? Miss Ramona made those. Hey, you can't see them. Here, I got a flashlight in my pocket.
And now they really can't see him.
There you go.
No, that's too bright. You can't see it.
Yeah,
There
you
go.
can.
Now you can see them.
Yes.
That's my hubby just did over here. Oh my God.
Ah! Go, Mr. Gomez.
Oh my.
Oh man. Well, after you know what happened, the way I got started in it was she told me about the naked hairy people in the woods thing, and it kind of reflected back because I love the woods, and we would come out here and I would go for walks and hikes and whatnot down the ravine, down the trails, and I kept seeing there's predator things in the trees that she was talking about. I'm looking at them, I'm like, the hell is that? So I blow it off, and then I start putting up trail cameras and stuff, and start seeing more of them. I delete the pics, thinking something's wrong with the trail cam, and then I started seeing them. I'll be behind a tree, like this. I go back real quick, just enough to look at you. And I started noticing that, so I started running around the woods, tree peeking like them. And then I noticed there was more than one of them. And finally, well, this is back in 2018, and I was on the back deck, and I kept hearing whooping sounds right in the woods, right where our camp is.
Mm-hmm.
I was hearing whoop, 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 and chatter, like they were that samurai chatter. I mean, it was like, yes, it was just like sitting down listening to the Ron Moorhead
And
recordings, the Sierra
when I was a
sounds.
kid, I would be told that was either like a raccoon fighting or a turkey or something like that.
No,
Yeah, that's what I would be told.
I heard that, and I was trying to figure out what it was. I mean, this was like in 2018. That was probably in like I don't know, summer. And then I started seeing them more, and I realized, I'm like, oh, there's monkeys in Pennsylvania. Big
They're
ones.
not monkeys, honey.
So I was on that kick. Hey, and I call Weasel up. I'm like, yo, buddy, we got monkeys in the woods, man. He's like, no, we don't. I'm like, yeah, we do. And then I got,
I'm like, no, they're not monkeys.
then I started feeding them, and I studying their behaviors, and then I seen it one face to face. It was a girl named Chaka. And that's the one I got trail cam pics of in January of 2020. And I showed, because I've been telling Weasel, the 2 years I was telling Weasel, hey man, there's these monkeys in the woods up here. And they have people faces though, and they're giant. I was like, no. And finally I showed him that pic, and I convinced him to come out. But I've known Chaka since she was my height. I'm 5'4". And over the period that I've known her, she is now over 7 foot tall and has a 16-inch print. Things started getting like, I brought Weasel down here to camp. And because he didn't believe me. And matter of fact, if y'all who subscribe to the Weasel Files, thank you. Thank you for putting, oh, that's Weasel that put that. Never mind. Thank you, Weasel. So he came out, and in those videos you see from the Weasel Files, because he was a skeptic, and that's how he got started in it.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Weasel, why don't you come over here and get on the camera? I'll move.
Here, I'll trade places.
You sure?
We need
Yep.
to monetize.
Okay. Have a seat, buddy. Howdy doody. This is Weasel.
This is where my story starts. He brought me down the first time. I know I was skeptical because who would believe such a thing? You know, I grown up in the woods. I grown up in Erie, Pennsylvania. Place is called Erie for a good reason. Eerie things happen there all the time. I could tell you stories. That's all part of the Wi-Fi, Weasel's Files. But I would say that when he brought me down here on my first night, I got to experience what he was talking about with the whoops, the knockings. I heard him moving in. I seen the eye shines. You know, well, before I get there, I'll start this. When I first came into the woods, when he brought me down, I started acting like a fool. Like a little kid, I saw all these vines, and I decided I was going to start jumping around on these vines and climb on them like I used to do when I grew up in Erie. So I started acting like a little Tarzan and stuff, and pounding my chest like an ape, and was laughing, basically laughing at Josh about monkeys. I was like, dude, I can come in here and show you there ain't no monkeys. And I'm walking around showing them tracks, and I seen a 2-year-old bear track, and I showed him a couple coons tracks, and I showed him some deer tracks, and then I stepped on or come upon a track that I didn't ever recognize, and I was like, that looks like a person with a bare foot. I have to overlook that. But that very first night when I first heard them all was pretty awesome. The second night, they decided that they're going to come in, and I got the chance to see 4 white Sasquatches. They stood about 10 feet tall. And then I got to see his Chaka, who was his size at the time. I got to see him at 20 feet from my hammock. They came in. They let me know that they do exist. So from that moment on, I started believing that these things do truly exist. But being down here in this area for the few times that I have come in, I would say that I have witnessed a lot more than just Sasquatches. This is why I told Josh, I was like, well, it's time to start up another channel because, you know, Squatch Topic is about the Bigfoots. Let's do another topic, a sub channel that would deal with the phenomenons that's going on down in these woods. And because we were seeing things that weren't Sasquatches. And that's where I figured that, there's a lot more to this land than what people thought. Uh, Looked right at them and said, this land's got to be cursed. I mean, if you're telling me it was a bloody ground of battles between Native Americans and the white people, then that means, the grounds were cursed. They were cursed by the natives so that the white people would suffer living upon the land. And that's pretty much what I'm seeing down there, which is pretty strange, And he might be right. I mean, just a couple, what was that, Friday night?
Yeah, when
Friday night, I got to see my
That's why
first
Biggie
time.
was so freaked out when he saw.
If you want to call it a skinwalker or if you want to call it a shapeshifter, it was my first time ever witnessing something like that. With that, I never thought it was possible until I witnessed it. So yeah, there's more out there than you want to believe in. UFOs, until I really do see one, I would say that typically that our government's been telling lies to us, and they had technology further than we thought, and that since we're only citizens, we get technology like 20 years behind what they have. So we're getting the crap end of the deal here. And so that's what I was saying about the UFOs. But things I was seeing with these Sasquatches and what they were doing down there in those woods kind of wants me to say maybe that might be aliens. Maybe there might be something different from maybe another dimension. I mean, I've never seen any aliens ever been recorded to do such things that these things can do.
Well, the interdimensional stuff, you mean, look at the trail cam footage I got at the X.
Well, that's I know about paranormal and stuff, but the paranormal activities I've witnessed. That's why I kind of told Mike, watch yourself on that, because I done that when I was a kid and something nasty attached to me, and it took me a while to fight it off. So I've seen what things are. A lot of people have pictures of what they call rakes, and I told Josh, I was like, the house I was living in with my wife before she passed away, I seen a creature like that coming down, well, basically the side of my wall, and the way it was moving, it was on all fours. Kind of moved like an animal, was crawling like an insect, but kind of looked like a human, but you could not see it straight on with your vision. Little children would see it right off the bat, but as an adult, you would have to catch it off your peripheral to see such a thing.
Your wife passed not long after you seen that.
Yeah, that activity in my house was not fun to deal with, since my wife was sick anyways, and I felt it just took her down further. And that's how I realized that the church I was going to was teaching everybody that we don't have a soul, that we were a living soul, and the angels in that were souls. But when I watched my wife die right before she took her last breath, I have this dog who can see things like cats, and he barked. And when he barked from my peripheral, I saw my wife's soul. And then I saw that thing that I told to get out of my house, grabbing her and taking her. So I don't know what that's all about, but I'm sorry, but I'm hoping that she was going to a good place and not the wrong place. But yeah, Weasel's Files has started because of a lot of phenomenons down here, and me and Josh can start getting into that subject off of the Weasel's File, and then leave Sasquatch for Squatch Topic, since he relatively established a good connection with them down here, and he's basically within their group, So I was thinking that, why not? Let's do it. We have shadow people down here. We seen a Skinwalker. There's probably a couple other things that
Ramona made a
is going
comment
to
about
start
the Skinwalker.
popping up. But yeah,
Richie.
yeah, Ramona, we all are creatures, all of us. We're part of this world, and we're easily adapt to wherever land that we come upon, and if everybody was kind of like the Native Americans and believed that all life is sacred, and that when you go in there into the woods and stuff, you respect what you see, you respect the habitat of the animals that live in there, and
Quit being rude.
and once in a while, if you do have some goodies on you or whatever, you can leave them. You know, it might not be for Bigfoot, but you are helping the other animals out, because in the wilderness it's pretty hard for everybody. That's why we see deers and that coming closer to us, because we have more of the food sources here
Because we keep
than
taking more and
they
more
do
of
in
their
those
environment.
woods. Yeah, and that's true, Jess. We are taking more and more land,
We
destroying
take and
forests,
take
cutting
and
them
take.
down.
We think that everything we walk on we own, and it's not true.
It's not true at all.
I'll tell them about the can of pop incident that happened last night when you and I went out thermaling.
Can of
When we came back, the can of pop I had sitting on the steps.
Oh. Josh thought something got to his pop because he saw some dirt and that around
The rim.
rim where he was drinking, and he saw a hair. And
Snagged
my
up in the
fault, like a
tab.
dummy, I looked at the hair and I was trying to show him. I was like, look at the color of the hair, and the breeze kicked up, and then the hair just blew right off out of my fingers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Check this out. I had a can of soda. I set it on the steps by the porch, right? Him and I go down the street, looking through the thermal and everything. And
Not just the way.
we come back, I'm getting ready to take a sip of my pop. I'm thirsty, you know? Pick up my can, and I'm like, you could tell because it was a fresh can. I opened it and only took one swig out of it, right? It was all slobbed on. Like there was, soda was in the rim part, but there was like dirt on the rim, and there was like little bits of foliage like you would pick off of your jacket whenever you come out of the weeds. And there was this hair about this long. It was white. It was long white hair. And I'm looking at it because it was snagged up on the tab. And I'm like, wait, Jess has dark hair. I have dark hair.
My hair is kind of dark and more like salt and pepper, but it
It was whiter than this gray here.
Yeah.
And it was like that long, and I'm like, oh my god, there was a follicle on it. I'm like holding it, I'm like, Weasel, look, buddy.
We'll get another one.
And he goes,
We'll get
let me
another
see
one.
it. And I'm like, all right, buddy, don't let nothing happen to this, dude, because we're gonna put it in a sample bag and see what it is. I hand it to him, and he goes, oh, and then the wind came and it went, whew. And we just watched it float away, and it hit the ground. And he's up there looking for it. I'm like, come on, man. You ain't going to find that hair. No, it was not from my ghillie suit. It was a hair with a follicle on it.
Yeah, it was
He
a
didn't even
hair.
have his ghillie suit on at that point.
Oh, my
He took
God.
his ghillie suit
I
off
was
in the
so
woods.
mad, but I still love the guy.
I
He's
know.
my
We
best
should have
buddy.
We should have went inside with the good old light and
I
stuff,
found
and
it.
magnifying glass.
I just hope this don't attract birds to me because I'm scared of birds. But I think this would be cool because, look, check this out. I want to talk about last night's expedition for a minute. All right. Y'all seen what I was seeing, and y'all seen what was going on with him. When he was coming out, I rewatched that video. He was tying his shoes and whatnot, and I realized there were several times on there where, because I couldn't see the screen, guys. It's like the whole screen was nothing but messages. Like I couldn't see nothing. So, and I was in the dark. I mean, every once in a while, I popped up my night vision, like, and when I'd pop up night vision, I'd show you guys. I'd pop up the thermal. Well,
Here, in case you're having trouble reading the screen,
Oh, now I
Oh.
can see.
there's the.
oh,
there.
cool! Now I can read this while we right on,
There you go.
baby. Well,
I'll be right
if you
back.
go back and watch it, and you watch both screens, when his light was on the ground, I had lights moving. And where my perspective was, because I was dug down, like the stuff was like this, and I'd have the brim on my hat, and I'd look through this little hole right here, and I had the ghillie going down over me. That's how it was. And when I realized from watching it over, those lights that you're seeing, it wasn't him. I thought that it was him. And what the hell is that? See, you hear weird things out here. And whenever I thought maybe it was the light with the trees splitting up the beams and whatnot, and making separate lights. Well, what happened was they were able to hear me talking. The Sasquatch and the Dogman up here. Here's what happened, guys. They heard me talking to Weasel when I was talking on a thing, and they were looking for me, which is funny because you could see the eye shines moving fast. I mean, they're quick. Those are eye shines you see on my screen moving around like that, because while he's down there, they were looking for me. There's my sister. Hey, what's up, Renee?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. They was looking for me whenever he was coming up my way, but they were able to hear me, but they couldn't see me. So the ghillie suit idea actually worked. They could not find me.
And my mistake is that when I'm chopping through the woods, I should have been a lot more quiet. But when I heard that grunt, all right, the sound that it yelled at me. My mistake was I turned around thinking it was behind me, and it was not
I hit the wrong switch. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
behind me at all. See, I should have been watching Josh's screen to realize that they were actually above me in the tree. And when I heard that, it wasn't coming from behind me. But when I sat at night the whole time laying down thinking about what I heard the whole time, more and more I thought about it, more and more I was running that sound through my head. It might not have been yelling at me. It might have been saying no, the way it made it sound, like, no. You know, and I thought it went, yeah. You know, so I went a little louder. So,
Yeah.
You did.
I know, but I
I
tried to
am
be a
not
little
gonna
louder
lie.
to mimic what I heard.
I'm not gonna
No,
lie.
no.
The
I yelled
audio,
back at it the way I heard it softly to me so that nobody else could hear it, you know, so Josh wouldn't hear it. It was just meant for me to hear. So I was taking it that it didn't want me to go up there. In the way it was looking, you know, on my end, it looked like something was going through there and it was using as a hideaway.
they were looking for me, man.
Or, you know, whatever.
They couldn't find
Sleep
me.
in bed or whatever it was, but it was basically didn't want me up that way for some strange reason. So when I turned around, I was fine. So I was trying to figure out is that do they allow us down here, but only allow us in a certain area, but once we step out our camp zone, then it's like they don't want us there at all because they'll hoot. It'll draw us back to our camp no matter what we try to do. We did walks numerous times and we followed those hoops right back to camp. And every time we go, like if we were going a wrong direction, where it actually wasn't, it would be more like a hot spot that we should continue going. We'll get a log thrown at us because we're getting too close, or something else will come up behind us and make a sound and make us turn around. And
I actually released a YouTube short of it whenever they threw. It was when Biggie went over that footage. The log that got thrown at me, that went in front of me, came in from my left, and a rock came from the right simultaneously.
Yep.
And Biggie said when he watched it, it was almost as if they were aiming for the same exact spot for those two items to hit each other.
it did look like that after
You need to make a short.
he
of that.
pointed that
I
part
did.
of that video
Okay.
I
out.
did put a short of that up.
I didn't see no rock. I did see the log, but I did not see.
We
the
went
rock.
and found that thing. It was about that long and about that round.
So, when Biggie mentioned that, and I went back and I looked and I was like, he made a good point. I did see that rock. And then me and Josh were over there thinking about it, and I was like, I wonder if Chaka was behind us. She's the one to keep pulling us back to camp where it's safe. And the other one went to throw the log at you, and she threw the rock to ricochet, stop the log or something. I don't know, but it was just basically how I was looking at it, which is pretty awesome in a way to see two objects come together like that. I don't even think a pitcher or quarterback could do that. I haven't seen any best ones yet that could actually do that perfectly, And that's a small target too to hit. Like if you're throwing a log towards a rock and hit a rock while it's flying in midair, that's a small target.
It's like if you're playing baseball and the object of the game instead of swinging the bat, you have to throw the bat
at the ball as the ball's thrown at the bat.
I bet you my dad would be able to
It's
do
like
that.
flipping a
He's
penny
really
in
good at
the air and
sports.
shooting it with a 22 like I used to.
My dad's a beast.
My
on the
grandfather,
field.
he was a sharpshooter. He used to do tricks with his 22 all the time.
Oh yeah. Now that night we did the EVP deal. I didn't like that video much.
No, I have not. I really did not go around and look for it. It's actually about this big. And you're not going to see it. It just fits right in your hand just to push a button. And all it did was allowed I bought what you call a selfie pole. So when you extended it out and you try to do a selfie with everybody or whatever, you just push the button and it'll just take a snapshot for you because it was Bluetooth to your phone. I ain't worried about that. It wasn't like I was going to ever use it. I would have to buy a whole new phone to start doing all that, especially another memory card because I think mine got fried when I'm sending information back and forth out of it.
If anybody watched that EVP video we did, we didn't stay in the woods that night. I wanted to, but he didn't want to. That was an interesting night, guys. Like that thing was actually accurate. The things it was saying was corresponding with things that were happening in the environment around us. I got touched by the invisible man and I freaked out. Like I literally was freaking out. I don't like to be touched. Not at all. And what happened was that night, we were supposed to only do it on my new video camera. And we were going to release it as a video because I didn't feel it was worth going live for and all that. It's not really my slang. But the camera kept shutting off. And I'm like, okay, it's dying. So I go up, open it, turn it back on, and it says it has a full battery. Walk away, I hear the beep sound, and then I go back and look, it says bye-bye. It kept shutting off. So after turning it on a few times, I changed the battery out. And same thing happened. Now, I tested this thing at home. It works. And then I talked to Biggie because he has the same exact camera. He gets 2.5 hours off a battery. Why am I getting 3 minutes?
See, he wanted to stay a little longer because he wanted to investigate. From my experience and plus watching everybody else going through that, I do know that in the spiritual realm, or anything to manifest itself, it has to take energy. And we fed whatever it was really good energy for it to reach out, and not only just touch Josh,
That didn't just touch me,
but
bro.
more like that to Josh. And while I'm standing right beside him, you know, there was nothing behind the tree to reach around where I would have saw the arm and, you know,
I'm telling you, bro.
captured it on camera. But
it
no,
closed.
it never happened.
It closed. You couldn't have seen it because it did a light refraction.
But I do know that we do have shadow people down there, and they could do that, and they can drain
Because-
energy just like spirits.
Think about it. In that time set, you seen the one come right up by you and it went up the tree. Well, not ran up tree. What they do is you know how a fireman goes on a pole. They're fast.
Polemen for the electric company on the street poles. You know how they
Called
climb
linemen.
up the linemen. But you know how they climb those poles.
I used to do that.
Speed that up by like 10 times faster. See how, you know, and I'm talking about start to the top in less than 3 seconds. And that thing shimmy up that tree like it was nothing, made no sound whatsoever. And it was pretty big. I
You
would
know
say
what?
it was around 7 to 10 feet.
If you watch the video, check this out. When he said, because he was wiggling over that, because he doesn't have them that close to him, and I actually noticed him cloaking.
Yeah, that's what rigged me out. It was when I seen that thing move, I seen the whole silhouette of the body. And when it grabbed the tree, Josh turned the camera to look. It was going up as fast as it can. So it was above the main spot beam, but it caught the silhouette where I could have seen it off the silhouette of the light. A lot more clearer than what I did without the light. But when the light, as soon as the light hits it, that whole shadow of that body completely disappeared.
It did a light refraction. That's what cloaking is. It's like it refracts the light around it, and it does like a mirror image in a sense. There's other animals that can do similar thing. Like if you want to compare a hare, the closest would be like looking at a polar bear.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to examine. That white hair was. 'Cause
Yeah, and then you
I
look,
figured I knew
well,
that wasn't Chaka with white
I
hair.
could have sent that off for DNA
Yeah,
analysis.
I know. I should have just put it right in that little zip bag I had on me in my pocket.
You know what, buddy? Next time we examine Sasquatch crap, you're sniffing it, not me. I sniffed the last pile of poo. You sniffed the next one.
Hey man, I went and sniffed water on the ground that you asked about if it was pee or not.
Dude, I'd rather smell pee on a tree than a pile of crap on
No,
a
on
stick.
the ground by the roots of that tree where you pointed at a big puddle. You asked if I urinated there, and I said no. Did you? You said no. So
Yeah, they're peeing on the trees.
and it didn't really have a.
It doesn't have a musky scent or nothing.
No ammonia smell.
But they're peeing on the trees, and it's high up. It's about where their crotch would be. So think about it, Weasel. The height of them, where their genital region would be, is about in an essence of location on the tree where we're sniffing that.
Ramona
You know,
says that
Ramona,
we-
I really would like to, but I wouldn't even know what to even call her. You know, she has shown herself a couple times, but since I've been down here, I haven't seen her.
Who?
I've seen the other ones, or not the other ones, but well, the one I saw wasn't her. It could have been Chaka because it was brownish, and that could have been Chaka swimming up that tree. But yeah, I haven't really seen her. Usually, she comes out and let me know she was there because she always comes in 20 feet from me and stands behind the tree.
She'll stand behind the tree and she'll hoot at you like an owl.
I think what she's waiting for is probably for. Well, I actually had an opportunity that night when we went split screen and she didn't show herself, so I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what to call her. I don't know. Well, I never gave him much of thought about a good name. I mean, but Sally.
Something to think about.
I'm
Who
gonna
are
call
you
Sally
talking
or
about,
something.
dude?
The white Sasquatch that keeps showing herself. To
The
me.
handler.
Yeah.
He's talking about the handler because in the pictures we see it with the adlet, the dog man. I call that one the handler. But if you want to name her, man, she keeps showing herself to you.
Ramona said he needs to name her.
She was there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Did you see her, Ramona? Or I mean, usually she will let me know. She will show herself at a good opportunity. She had her opportunity to let me see her.
Ramona says she was there.
But I wasn't seeing her. I was seeing the brown one, which was Chaka. And I seen her down at the lower level because I first shown it down there when I got down there to start the fire. She went in on the bottom, but somehow she must have come looping around. No, that's a different night. Yeah, I'm sorry. I seen her down at the bottom. She stayed at the bottom and she went into the thickets. And that's where she was at the whole time because I kept hearing her move. And she wasn't trying to come out. She was just trying to stay there and look for Josh. And I think that's what she was doing, is looking for Josh. You might be right. I mean, I think Chaka does stay around camp when he's there. And I think she's trying to keep the other ones from harming him.
Well, I think it's funny. I brought Mike Tornicasa from MT Paranormal out here. And Chaka said hello to me the way she normally does. She does her barred owl hoot towards me, and then she purrs. She purrs at me. Well, we started advancing towards her, and she did it again. Her little gentle and then Mike comes along, and he gets growled at. So, yeah. I've noticed that she did you even tell them about your first experience down here yet, dude? When you seen 5 of them?
Yeah, I told them the experience. Oh, I was in my hammock and I had a mosquito screen with a zipper. Pretty loud zipper. And I had my phone. And I tried, I could see them plain as day through the screen, but when I took the phone and I took a snapshot, it just lit up the screen and saw nothing at all.
Yeah, I saw she was there. Yes, Chaka was there, but your female.
Yeah, I got a little scared not to try to get out of the hammock when I should have, because they came when I asked them to come in, and that was my fault. And I should have been greatly respectful, and I should not let my fear get the best of me. As much as I was trying to tell myself that, there was nothing to be afraid of. I know this is the first time you've seen something. You don't know exactly what it is.
Squatch.
I'm looking at it thinking it was some kind of laboratory experiment that escaped you. Yeah, I'm looking at a giant body of a gorilla, a silverback gorilla, from the backside to me, and feet were human, and their faces were human. And that kind of freaked me out because their head was not like a gorilla. It was straight out rounded like ours. They didn't have the bump on their heads. These white ones were more pronounced with their faces and head feature as more human-like.
With a bigger jaw, and their faces are wider.
Yeah, but when you look at them, they're more human-like. They didn't have the hairs on their face, which assumed that I didn't know if they're juveniles or females, because all I got to see was their backsides, which was kind of funny because that's what the female keeps showing me. Is always her backside, never the front. So I gotta have to give her a gift and
does she have a
probably
badunkadunk?
name it.
I'm just kidding.
Yes, because Ramona says that she sensed her there last night. You may not have seen her, but she sensed her there.
Ramona's on it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go down there with a special gift and place something there for her and give her a name.
She says your female is older.
Yeah, I know she is.
She's way bigger than Chaka.
When I saw Chaka was his height, right around 5.5.
That's years ago.
Yeah, that was years ago. When I saw these white ones, they were 10.
7 foot now.
They were definitely 10. No, you know what? When I first saw them, they were probably 7 foot. They were just coming into maturity. Now, when I saw her last, when Josh was focusing on Chaka, she was 20 feet off of Josh's right behind the tree, and he was closest to the camera. And I wanted to turn and snapshot her while she was there to give everybody the evidence, even though it was just her backside. It was plain as day to be seen. And
See, y'all can't trust me with a camera.
she's 10 feet now, so I know she's a lot more mature.
I'll sit there and look at her and not hit the click button. This is how I am. I'll just be like, whoa. Nobody just take a picture of it? No, I didn't think about that. Seriously, when you're face to face with something like that, you don't think about taking a picture. That's the last thing on your mind. The last thing on your mind is taking a picture. Shit.
Me, I always try. As soon as I see it, anything in the woods that that are rare, when I see a rare animal or something, I try to hurry up and pull the phone out, and I'm gonna scroll. Okay, camera, and it's gone. Oh, I'm like thinking to myself, I was like, people must be walking in the woods with the camera ready in hand, because there's no way you're going for a stroll and then all of a sudden you're gonna pull out and then catch it. Those things don't stay. Nothing doesn't stay there long enough. Once they get a whiff that you're there,
I got a question for you and you, Jess.
Oh,
I have a question for both of you. All right. You've been here longer, Jess. I'm going to ask you first. I'm going to turn the camera
I
around.
was 18 months old.
You're 18 months old. Turn the camera around. See if you're in it. There you are. Look at that beautiful lady. What do you think Sasquatch really is? And what do you think the dog man is? Good question.
That is a very good question. Well, it has to do with my culture then, is what I believe.
Well, they don't know what your culture is, Jess.
Well, my grandmother was a Inuit from Canada. So that tells you what my culture is. And we're led to believe and taught Bigfoot just right along with the fox, just right along with the seal, just right along with the polar bear. It's one of the creatures in nature. It's not hush hush in that culture.
And you guys call them the Tornets.
Yes.
Tornet
and
people.
The reason why I didn't know about that is because my parents divorced whenever I was a baby. So, and I didn't get back in contact with my cousin until I was 20. And she taught me a lot through all that. And explained a lot. So, the Tornet people were the people that they followed across the Bering Strait. And they were actually worked beside them. They used them to help lift heavy stones and create stone shelters and move heavy objects for them. They would help them do logging and things like that for them. And the Inuits taught them how to preserve food and dry meat and things like that. So they worked hand in hand. It wasn't until there was an incident, and this is how the legend goes, is that a young Inuit boy, probably a teen, hot-headed, didn't like the fact that one of the Tornets took out his canoe. And so he decided that he was going to kill it.
Actually, the Tornet damaged the canoe
Yeah.
and sunk it.
So he attacked it, killed it. And ever since then, they've been afraid of humans. And that's why they went into hiding. And that's how the legend goes. But my people believe that they came from a light in the sky. So I don't believe they're from this world, honestly. I don't believe they belong here. I believe they landed here and they got stuck here. Because they have abilities that are unexplainable that no other animal or creature on this world has.
Which is true. I'm starting to witness it. I wouldn't even know what to describe them. I mean, if I were to
So-
say,
They have a higher intelligence that no other creature other than humans have. They have abilities that no other creature possesses that should not possess. So how other than that do you explain it?
What do you think about the Adlet? I know that I read the Inuit culture of the Adlets. It's very ferocious in their teachings.
Yes, it is one that can change and shapeshift.
Really?
Yes. And it's unsure. Other than that, I'm not sure of it, Josh.
Okay. Do you think in national forests where we watched like the Missing 411 with Dave Pilates, do you think that Sasquatch or Dogman or any possible cryptids being unexplained creatures or species, do you think that could be an involvement of missing persons cases?
Absolutely.
Okay, what's your take on it?
Well, the fact that something happened to me as a child, I have no clue what happened to me. I have no clue how long I was gone. I have no clue where I went.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue what happened to me. And that's scary to think of.
You know, that's interesting you say it because when I did that one, when I was down there alone, they nailed me twice with infrasound and I didn't know where I was. I was 15 feet away from where I hang my hammock at.
I just remember the feeling of just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. And then just being in the house.
Do you think they have telekinetic powers? Like Todd Standing would say.
I'm not sure. Honestly,
Okay.
they might not. They might have the ability to alter your behavior, like
Wendigos could do that.
of what you're doing, as in how you got confused. You had no clue where you were. That's not you, Josh.
I know. I was on point that day too.
So the fact that they were able to scramble your brain enough that you had no clue where you were, that's altering your behavior right there.
mm-hmm.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, because the speed that they move, I mean, and I watched the playback over and over and over. I seen three just in front of me. There was three sets of eyes looking around those trees. So I could have been at any point. I could have been dragged up a tree. I
Yeah.
could have been dragged down the ravine. Can you tell everybody about the man who taught you how to hunt, his son?
One of the men that aided in the teaching me of hunting.
This happened right back where we were camping at, so you know.
His son, the story on the ridge is that he was killed in a farming accident. There really isn't a farm. The fact that he cornered my husband one day and told him something completely different creeps me out a little bit. And the fact that what he carried to hunt with is complete overkill if you ever hunted. He carried 180-pound crossbow. It literally went right through the deer. That's literally overkill.
Was it a compound?
Yes.
Oh crap.
Absolutely.
I have a crossbow that could do that.
So he was carrying overkill. He usually wouldn't carry a gun in these woods because I think, honestly, with these creatures, I think the smell of gunpowder enrages them. I think it's dangerous to carry gunpowder around them. That's why I think he carried a crossbow.
So, out of all your intake of what you know so far, of what you gathered of being around here, how do you feel about them? Do you think they're dangerous, or you just think they're just trying to exist?
Neighbor's son was killed by one back in the 50s. It killed him.
I don't know what he was doing.
Behind that.
I don't know.
I think he shot at it. Honestly, I think he took a shot at it.
What do you think? With that question, what do you think? Do you feel that they might be dangerous, or do you feel that they just wanted to exist like people do, be left to be or something, you know?
Yeah, that, but I feel that they get a little too curious about children.
That is true.
Children are more open-minded.
That's why I watch my kids like a hawk.
They can see things like they do, you know.
We was talking about that the other day.
Don't see.
Yeah.
I think if they see a child unattended, they assume you're a bad parent and they take your child. I think that. We was having that topic the other day.
Well, so far from what I've been reading and listening to stories about the abductions of children, they do come back.
Uh-huh.
And so they're not.
Yeah, like 30 miles
people.
away.
They don't eat people and they're not harming the children. So there has to be a reason behind the abduction of the children. So, you know, maybe they wanted to take the kids in and teach them the right things.
Or they'll find the child way far away, passed away, but recently passed away, and it's usually due to exposure. And this is usually a couple weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
Like the child stayed alive for a few weeks. Somehow.
Okay, we're ready to move on to Weasel's opinions. Let me flip the camera.
Yeah, flip the camera around. Well,
what do you think they are, man?
I can tell you at first what I thought, and I can tell you what changed my mind, and I can tell you what changed my mind again. But quite honestly, I can't really tell you anything yet. I mean, there's so much for me to learn about these things, and from what I'm seeing and observing about them and their behaviors, it just seems to be unique. I mean, I would like to agree with Jess about not from this world. That's my first thought when I assumed,
Right.
My parents raised me as a church-going person. I read the Bible in and
Yeah.
out, and there is a scripture written that we're supposed to start seeing the children of the Nephilims, and the Nephilims will return. So I looked at Josh and said, they're digging up giants skeletons. Is that the returns of the Nephilims?
That's
By the
why I
means
want
of
a
what it's
biting
written?
depression, because
So the
the
children-
skeletons have 2 rows of teeth.
So the children of the Nephilims would be what? Sasquatch?
I need to know if Sasquatch has 2 rows of teeth. I need to find a way to figure that out. I need a bite impression.
So that's where I would come from, as a Bible believer. My mind's a lot more open. I like to think there's more to it, especially even to the Bible. I read cases about Samaritans in their beliefs that they said aliens came from out of this world, came here, and they've, I guess, according to the Samaritan text, created the first race that rebelled and started attacking them. So they turned around and created mankind to be slaves to them and do their biddings. If I would go with the Samaritan text, because the Jewish comes right off the Samaritans. They believed in the same Lord, the King, and his son that left this world, and they believe in the fallen angels. So that's similar to what the Samaritans were talking about, the ones that were left here, and the king and his son, who he made general of his army, left the world. So are they aliens? Are they Nephilims like the Bible states? Or are they from a parallel universe? There's many questions to ask, because they're definitely not gorillas. They're not the greater apes of North America, if you want to call them that, because they're bigger than great apes. You can't say that they're aliens unless we have actual evidence to prove that. Can't really say much about them. The only thing we can do is sit back and observe their nature. Get us some information and documentations on that. My goal is, like I said from the beginning, is to learn the communication levels where I can communicate with them. Because I think if you could sit down with at least one of them who's willing to speak, you'll get a lot more information than that you're asking for. I do believe that they'll be willing to let you know if you
That's
ask.
a long time. 200 years.
Yes, and did you see Biggie's comment? Right above it.
I don't think they're aliens. I don't think they're aliens either. What do you think about Dogman now?
As for the dog man, they're part of the same creature type origin.
You smoke too much.
They might be part of the Sasquatch origins. I don't know.
What does he think?
I really don't
Dogman
know
is?
about Dogman.
Okay. Now, what do you think about? Do you think there's a connection with the 411 type cases and the cryptid species?
No, I've
National
watched a couple of
forests?
episodes of 411.
Well, the 411 cases.
I do know about the
unexplainable
missing.
disappearances.
I seen an episode where they had they come in an area where somebody had witnessed a giant wolf, and as they went into the area, they were saying a dire wolf. Well, dire wolves they're kind of extinct. So to be a dire wolf in Alaska, yeah, could be. We haven't reached in the deepest forested areas yet, but it might be a dog man. It might be a creature out there that might be doing that. I do understand that when you give somebody a gun and they're scared as crap, they don't ask questions first. They start shooting, then they'll ask questions later. And that's the whole problem there, because that's probably why a lot of people wind up missing in the first place. In Alaska, you got your grizzlies and wolves and stuff, and you know, if you're not watching what you're doing, you can wind up missing very easy just with those animals alone. So yeah, as for the missing 911s and what's going on there, Alaska's a great wilderness. It's still wild there, man. So if you're going out there, you expect what you're going to get from nature. I really don't believe in Sasquatches being really aggressive. I'm really starting to learn not to be afraid of them.
Yeah. We got a heat signature, bro.
Yeah, I know. I've been
I don't
hearing
know.
it coming over
I'm trying to
this
see
way.
what it is.
But yeah, I don't believe that they're going to harm anybody unless you show them aggressive first. Just like a great ape, a gorilla. They say a gorilla won't harm you. They'll bluff charge you. They won't harm you because they don't want to be harmed themselves. So they're very intelligent on that. They know that if they come and attack you right off the bat, you're going to defend yourself. They're going to get wounded or killed. You know, they know that. And the same thing as these Bigfoots. They're pretty intelligent. You know, us humans know that. You don't go and attack somebody without knowing, thinking that they're not going to stand there and let you attack them. No, they're going to defend yourself. And when they do, you're going to get hurt just as much. And that's the things that we need to think about when we go in there. I was at Cook's Forest one time in Pymatuming, and I was on my knees getting a drink of water, and a big cinnamon black bear came up. It was a pretty big boy. I could have sworn it was a brown bear, but it came up face to face with me. And if the bears, if it was really aggressive, if it was really hungry, if it was wounded, it would have killed me right off the bat. Bear left me alone. It just laughed at me because I was scared it was there. And it walked away from me. And it told me I was a fool for jumping in the creek like that. But yeah, I started believing a lot more things, you know. When you have an attitude of good nature, you'll be surprised that nature will be good back. And I do know that's true. I like going into the woods, and I'll sit down by a tree and I'll sit there and listen to what the forest has to say. I see the animals that in the area will come out and show themselves right off the bat. And I really enjoy seeing things like that. I really enjoy the woods. You know, but I don't enjoy going into the woods and seeing shadow people or shapeshifters or something like that, you know. Bigfoots were one thing, and I'm accepting them for who they are. It seems to be a cross, if you want to call it a cross between man and animal. Coming into nature that way is equal. You could, if you want. But there's a lot more research out there that needs to be done with these things to fully understand what they truly are. And, you know, just with small observation, I can just run wild with it. And there's a lot of facts that back up with the wildness. You know, they're aliens. Look, I can prove it to you. They cloak. No animals cloak like that. They gotta be aliens. They shimmy up a tree faster than a squirrel could. They, with their size, they gotta be aliens. You know, you can say that all you want, but there's gotta be something more to them. And they've been here an awful long time. It could go back with the Samaritans. They could have been right. They might have been created by aliens, just like we were. And we are both the same species living on this planet. And they came first. We came second.
Is that your
I go by with ancient beliefs on their writings, because they've been here on the planet before we are today. And if the Samaritans text said this is what it is, and the Jews come up and almost agreed with the Samaritans by saying the one king and his son, who we all believe is Jesus Christ, all left and left the fallen angels, that the Jews will call the fallen angels, or what the Samaritan calls their brothers and sisters, left here, his children. He left them here to punish them for what they did. And that was the creation of the two creatures.
All right. Now my turn. What do I think a Sasquatch is? Well, when I first started, I thought they were primates. Then further into it, I started seeing human-like qualities, and I started coming to more realism of them. And I was trying to figure habitat, and now, so you take the concept of them being able to see in total darkness, okay? Pennsylvania is riddled with abandoned mines. Okay. I have part of me thinks that they are subterraneous humanoid species. I believe in the hollow earth concept, whereas they're like underneath, there's caverns. We don't know what the hell's under there. I mean, there's all kinds of things come out of caves, out of the ground. So, being that there's mine shafts that are abandoned all over Pennsylvania, it's like a system, and they can go anywhere. So I was on that concept that they're subterraneous humanoid species. But then I started realizing, like Portal and stuff like that. 9090, we love you. And then I started seeing the supernatural part of it, and I've been researching, and I've come to the conclusion, in my mind, they are an ancient tribe. Yes, I think they are an ancient native tribe. And just a different type of people. You know what I mean? Built different. They're the giants. And if you say, well, give me proof of that kind of stuff, I'll tell you, well, you go ahead and start in the Bible. You want your proof? If you believe in God, you believe in the Bible, start reading the Bible. You have giants all through the Bible. You have Nephilim all through the Bible. And there's some different things in there where they will tell you that, the descriptions of them, they were covered in hair. All right. Then you also go a little further into the Bible. You got to look into not only giants, but you have to look into topics like the wild man. I mean, there are so many different names for these things.
In the Bible, they said the Nephilims, the giants, went off. Well, when the angels came and took the form of, or put the suit of man on and married the women, and gave birth, and the women gave birth to half man and half angels. We were giants, Nephilims. That the Nephilims went out throughout the world and created their own creatures, and they are known as the children of the Nephilim. So all these creatures that we're seeing in the woods and stuff like that, Bigfoots, or these mythological creatures that you wouldn't believe exist, that are showing up to being existing now, are pretty much within sync to what the Bible would talk about.
Well, even John the Baptist in the Bible, if you hear the description given of him, he was deemed as a wild man, and they said in there that while people were feasting on food, he would feast upon insects and stuff of that nature. And John the Baptist was labeled as a holy wild man. Now, who's to say he wasn't a type of Sasquatch? King Nebuchadnezzar, I don't know if I pronounced that right. King
Nebuchadnezzar?
Yes, Jess said it. His main right-hand man, like he came from the forest and he was a giant covered in hair. What the hell's that? A Sasquatch. All right. So they've always been there. I think that the Sasquatch is an ancient tribe and they just have these capabilities that we don't. Now, as far as the shape of the heads, okay, the ones around here, they have round heads. Now, you see a lot of things that have domes. I was watching documentaries on giants that were unearthed and sent to the Smithsonian, and then apparently poof, they didn't exist no more. So this documentary was on Tubi about giant skeletons, and they were going about how they had 2 rows of teeth. For one thing, that's why I want to get a bite impression. I need to figure out how to get a bite impression from one of them just to see if they have 2 rows of teeth. I need to know that. Calls them the first people. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that, David. I believe that. I think they're an ancient tribe. And then, but when they unearthed these giant skeletons, some of them had these things on their head. Like some tribes, some native tribes, they'll do stuff to alter the shape of their body. Well, some of them had these things that went on their head that caused their head to go into conical shape, and it makes me wonder if perhaps, because I'm not big on alien crap at all, but it's all through history that aliens have been around. So what if some of them were doing the shaping their heads into that sense due to almost like a religion or something? I don't know. Coneheads, great movie. But that's what I come to. I think they're a type of tribe, and they have special capabilities that we lack. See, there's Weasel in there now. Now, as far as the Adlet dog man, I think, I mean, look at the Egyptians, Anubis, okay? Anubis is a dog man. He's an Adlet. And he's the god of death. Okay, back to the Hollow Earth concept. What if they have experienced the dog man underground while mining for gold? Because in Egypt, they was big on that gold. If they were mining gold, they come across the Adlet and they see how powerful it is, and they see that it was ferocious. And they claim it as their god of death, and they call it Anubis. I don't know the actual history of it, but as my concept is, I think that it's a subterranean species that somehow made it to the surface. I think they come to the surface at night to hunt, and I think during the day they're underground somewhere in a cave, in a tunnel.
Don't explain the day watchers then.
Well, it makes sense. You got people work 3 to 11, 11 to 7. They take shifts. All right, this is your shift. You have to make sure nobody comes close to our den to catch us. And if somebody is getting close, ward them off or come back and give us a heads up.
You said it right there. I mean, if they use a cave system, it would be a den. It would be, something that we would use for shelter, to hide, or to keep away from other animals that that we predator at night while we're sleeping. So yeah, it makes sense if they're using shelter. It does protect you from the environments of the weather. Yes, I agree with that. Coming out of the ground, though, I don't know about that, but who knows?
Think about it. You got air,
knows? They're finding,
ventilation
they're
shafts.
finding strange creatures, glowworms. That wasn't a thing that was made up. That's actually true. They're under the ground. They're far deep underground. There are other creatures that do exist. They're finding other uh, microbes and that lives in uh, volcanic areas that, most things that we wouldn't think life would live in. But yeah, they're finding things. It's just a matter of time before we find a lot more things. We still have that deep ocean yet, and a lot of deep creatures in there that hasn't been seen. There could be things out there that exist in the deep caverns way down in the depth of the oceans. Our world's vast, and we're just populating the land. Finding the land creatures. There's more there still hiding, but we're gonna find them because we're overpopulating the world. Uh, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things out there. There's
I'm lingering on that interdimensional stuff now too
so
because
much
of that
evidence to
trail cam
prove.
footage I got. Wait till you guys see that.
Everybody's
my
scared to
God.
be wrong at
We're
that
waiting on Biggie
point.
to finish going through the pictures, and then I'll put it together on the computer and put it out there. With all the Greek gods and kings and the pharaohs, they all go together. Yeah,
Yeah, they do. They do. Each culture has their own language. We all know that. And in every language, like my name, Josh's name, all over the world, doesn't sound the same as English. So our names will be different in every tongue throughout the world. So if you're going to name one God and you give him his name, that's just one name, and it's spoken many different ways because of many different languages. But that's true. It's basically it's just the world. It's the way we all talk. We're separated by language, and it kept us separated from each other.
I mean, seriously, think about it, dude. If Sasquatch just crashed here from an alien spaceship, okay, how many Sasquatch are you fitting on a spaceship?
It depends on the size of the mothership.
Oh God. Well, all right. Well, Jesus. Okay.
You asked, dude.
Aliens.
That a lot of people are seeing strange objects are out there really
I don't take
huge.
alien stuff. All right, now here's another concept too. How many of them UFOs done crashed in the world? Because I know there's pictations of Sasquatch in every country.
Well, back in the 1930s, Roswell was a crash. Even if they were experimenting with a new type of aircraft, it was still a crash in the 1930s. But there's other witnessing even further back in time when there ain't no technology. Look at all the drawings on stones. You had the Mayans, you had the Egyptians, you had everybody all over the world, all the ancestors of all cultures, all placed it all down and said aliens. They have written it down on stone. So it's written on stone, Biggie. It's got to be proof there. I don't know. I honestly tell you the truth. We all got to chip in and do a lot of research on these things because there's so much evidence there. It's just showing more and more as we're down there. We're seeing a lot more of what they can do. Their abilities is not of this world. It's a great way of saying that. I have, like Jess said, you ain't gonna find no animals doing the things that these things do.
No.
You ain't gonna find no humans capable of doing these things. Even if you are a superhuman, you still ain't capable of doing these stuff. This is beyond a human's capability, and this is beyond animals' capability that we know of in this world. But there's a lot more research to be done, a lot more evidence to collect.
We come in peace.
And we got to put it all together to find out what the truth is. And it's going to be funny in the end when we have all this evidence put together and somebody's going to come out and says, see, I told you so. Yeah. It's going to be that way somewhere down the line. We all know that because every evidence and research ever been done, somebody always come out and said, I told you so.
Can you imagine some old dude, right? Say you got an old pot farmer or something, and he's an old man, and he's up there, and a spaceship come down and a couple Sasquatch plop out of it in his field, he'd call up the police. He'd be up there like, hey, Popo. Oh, I've been in that backwoods. I was smoking on that shit. And two Bigfoot just come out the sky. They come out that spaceship and they roll up on me. Man.
Well, we have to say, about that. I mean,
And then the cop will be like, well, sir, that's because you're smoking on that shit.
yeah, you can never knock anybody down for saying things. You know, all my other friends.
I don't have a swear jar. I say what I want.
All my other friends got on me about when I said I saw 5 Sasquatches, 4 white ones in the cinnamon that Josh and I call Chaka. Nobody wants to believe me. They laughed at me, called me a fool, and everything else. But I'm going to tell you one thing. If you don't have a capable, good enough camera to capture it in your hand to get the evidence, or 2, your eyes are just as good. People ain't going to come out and tell you something, right out the bat. They're baffled. They don't know what they're seeing. They said they'll come out and tell you, hey, I saw something I can't explain.
What about ghost cameras, bro?
You all have to accept that because with our own eyes, if you witness it with your eyes, you're the witness. You have to take somebody's word of it at one point. I mean, I do understand there's people out there that fake stuff, but you have to take somebody's point when they come up and go, when they're baffled and they go, man, I seen something I can't even explain what I saw. I don't even know where to begin.
I tell you what I saw.
Right there off the bat, we let you know they did truly see something that they can't explain. And when they go to explain it, the best way they can, it will sound unbelievable. I mean, it is true because I couldn't explain the 5 I saw. There's no way I could present it to people to have them understand what I saw and accept my witness of, what I've seen. Nobody did want to, but only a few did believe that. They said, I have to take that word for it, man, because you do look shook it up about it. Yeah.
Hey.
So you did see something.
I just thought of something, dude. Those, I don't know what they're called, though. They got these cameras that people can see ghosts with. Now, I'm wondering if you use one of those type of cameras, if you can catch them better while they're cloaked. Ooh. So, I don't know. I got to figure, I don't know if they're called static cameras.
Oh, I gotta get away.
When the kids woke up.
That could be it. A static camera would take.
I don't know. I'll have to talk
photographs
to
of things.
See ya, baby. I'll have to talk to Mike Tornicosta about that, figure out what kind of cameras those are.
There's 2. I think there's 2 types of cameras. There's the ones with the static, just like the
Or my friend Teresa I talked to
What
on
do you call that?
Messenger. She's into that paranormal stuff. She would know.
Well, whatever equipment it is, it just reads static, so you can hear voices or whatever. But
Yeah,
there is a
we gotta
camera
try
that
it.
picks up energy that moves across the screen, so you could tell that there was some kind of form for you to see.
Exactly,
a
Biggie. That's what
spirit.
I'm thinking, bro.
For you to see a spirit, it has to take up some kind of energy to form or even move an object, unless it's an invisible Sasquatch.
You didn't.
I
Even
mean,
you talk
mean,
a lot, man. You didn't even let me finish my little thing.
I'm just saying it's hard to believe, but we do. I hope actually Josh got that, what I saw going up that tree. I hope he filmed that to show you that there it is.
The
You
eye
see
shine. The eye shine was up there.
Yeah, now you see it, now you don't. Yeah, concept.
But look,
He's following up the tree with his flashlight.
okay, when it comes to my idea of the 411 type stuff, the cryptids, here's what it gets me. These people at the point of separation, right? Your kid goes missing. They're going crazy, frantic, looking all around, right? Are they looking up in the trees? Seriously, think about it. These things go up and down trees, right? Who's to say with these 411 cases they snatch them. They take them all the way up in the tops of the trees, and then they roll out that way. No prints, no evidence. They're gone. So another thing too, though, is I have footage of a portal type deal going on, and that's another thing that where I mentioned that I'm. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'm opening up to the interdimensional type stuff because I got footage of it. I'm a seer. If I see it, I'll believe it. You know. But yeah. Sorry. When I'm out here, I'm so consumed with these woods. I can't take my eyes off the tree lines. I can't. Like when I'm out here at night, when we get done doing it, when we come back, like I'll lay down and every time I close my eyes, all I see are trees. I don't understand it. It's weird. It's like you close your eyes, you see trees, and your guard is up, and you're laying in your bed.
Because you got your eyes focused too much on it. That's all you see now.
We need to find a way to open a study to back your idea, Weasel.
Well, that's the case. I mean, what we're trying now isn't enough. I mean, even going live, having cameras, it's we're barely scratching the surface. That's what I'm trying to say.
You lost it.
Well, there's a lot of people that have some evidence. It's just they ain't gonna let you know the truth. They don't want you to know the truth. That's the whole problem. So yeah, we got to prove it. We all as a community has to pull together. Everybody out there, whatever, will have to get every bit of what they can and bring it to the table. And we just got to put it all together as a puzzle. And hopefully we put the right pieces in the right spots so we can claim what they truly are. And that's what I'm getting at. I know we need proof. We can't say they're aliens. We can't say they're monkeys. We can't say they're ancestral people, you know, cavemen. You can't claim that. You can't claim nothing until we have actual evidence. And honestly, to tell you the truth, we need a body.
Here's the problem.
We need a body. We need a live specimen to get blood and all that.
They already have them.
But yeah, they probably do.
You know they have them.
Probably already know what they are.
Here's the thing. All right, check this out. You know, you get the DNA. All right. You get bullcrap data. Like you get. Yeah, I don't know how to explain. Like what I want to do. I want to get a nice little hunk of hair. I want a nice little hunk of hair with follicles on it, and I want to split that up. I want to send to 3 different labs without them knowing that I'm having analyzed.
So you want to get close enough to reach out and touch them like they did to you, but this time when you touch them, you wasn't going to push them. You're going to grab a handful of hair and yank it off and run like crap out of there, right? Because I think that's the way you're going to have some good evidence.
Yeah, man, it's my height. It's either going to have to come out their leg or their butt crack or something because I'm short.
Because every time I see videos of people finding hairs on thorn bushes and stuff, clump of hair, they put it in a bag and they'll send it out to go have it researched and they go, they come back and they said it was a deer or a rabbit or, you know. They don't want you to know what it is, even if you did have the evidence.
That's what I'm saying.
They want you to know.
I want to go to 3 different labs to see if I get 3 different results. And also, I would like to have a specimen for you and a specimen for me. If I get a specimen, check this out, guys. If I get a specimen, I will buy one of those really nice microscopes that you can attach your phone to, and I will seriously go live with you guys, and I will pluck a hair from me, I'll pluck a hair from my dog, I'll pluck a hair from my cat, and we will sit there and have an episode where we would just compare hairs under a microscope. Seriously. If I get hair, I will definitely get a microscope, and we will look at it together, and it will be sent out to 3 different labs and see if we get different results, because I think that's that's something to keep in mind because, you know, people keep saying, oh, it comes back primate and human. And then other people say it comes back unknown. And then other people say this and that, you know. So you're getting unknown, you're getting primate on the nucleus, and on the mitochondrial, you're getting female,
Well,
human.
what they're saying, the great apes are 98%. They have 98% DNA that is similar to man. So, but they have 2% that's different. Well, we have 2% that makes us different. That 2% defies what kind of species you're going to become, and also defies if you're going to be male and female, and also defies what color hair you're going to have, and you know what your body features are going to turn out to be. No, that's actually
You got
true.
gray.
I know, but it's actually true. That 2%, that 2% they try to tell you, they do know what it is. It's just it defies
They don't want
what
you to
they
know.
gonna be. That's in everything that is given birth. It defies what you're gonna be. That 2%.
It's Biggie. But yeah, like think about it though, man. You know damn well they know what they are. You know damn well they have their skeletons. You know they have their DNA. I guarantee you they have one shackled up in a cage somewhere down there in Area 51,
Well,
probably, dude.
That just proves that actually, if they keep doing that, all they're doing.
They
is,
don't want nobody knowing. Do you know why?
But listen, if they keep doing that, all they're doing is proving that the Samaritans were right, that these aliens who were left here created the Sasquatch, who rebelled and fought against them, and then they created humans. So the humans can serve them and call them gods. And that's pretty much what the Samaritans were talking about.
Okay. Well, I just forgot what I was talking about.
So, I mean, basically it comes down, we need to, you know, I mean, we might have to look back in our ancestral heritage, look up all the stories, you know, that they have on, you know, carved in stones and stuff. They did show astronauts dressed in spacesuit. They did show a UFO. You know, they're showing you aliens. It was carved on walls, and every culture all over the world had it. So it has to be true. It has to come down that the Samaritans might be right on this subject.
David. I don't know, but check this out. I think my brain fart just cleared up. The stink went away, and I can remember now what I was talking about. All right. Whoa, did you hear that? You hear that?
I heard something.
Not that. That.
I heard it. You don't have to be so loud. It is like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, still. All right.
No, 4 in the morning.
Now, what I was saying though is, why would the government not want you to know that they exist? And I'll tell you why. One, logging industry. They all go into the forest, chopping down their habitats. Okay.
Money.
Now, if you go and release to the public that hey, what's up? Happy New Year's.
English, what's going on?
But if the government releases statements saying that there's monsters in the woods, people ain't going to want to do the logging industry. So the logging industry is going to go down. And if the logging industry goes down, the price of lumber is going to skyrocket more than what it already is. And then what also is going to happen is, paper products are going to go up, and America is ran off of lumber, if you think about it.
Happy New Year's, Laura.
Hey, Laura. Now, also, you would lose money in your tax stamps for hunting licenses. They would lose tax stamps for fishing licenses because certain people just aren't going to want to go out in the woods. So it makes sense of why the government would want to hide the truth, because it's a financial thing. They don't want to take the kick to the nuts saying, oh, well, we're going to lose all this money because we told everybody the truth. That's my opinion. I think that. We just want to see and hear you on the idea.
We just
We
need
get-
to get proof.
Yeah,
We
do.
all need to have proof to back up whatever we witnessed, because nobody wants to believe it.
Laura's cool. I talk to her on the phone now and then.
No, basically what he was saying on that, if you go look, our national forests and state parks and that, they're specifically preserved for a good reason. And a
I
lot of
think-
sightings are known to be like where we're at right now.
I think those
We're
state
close to a
parks are
state-
reserves for cryptids.
That's what I'm saying. We're close to a state park where we're at. And the wood lines are all attached to that park. So it's a good thing. In Pennsylvania, there's also a park further up north called the Allegheny National Forest.
They got a lot of
also-
dogmen up there.
Also
a lot of
known
dogman sightings.
as Dogman, and there is a couple of Bigfoot sightings up there.
Yeah, but a lot of dogman sightings, yeah.
So yeah, there is showing that, you know, our national forests and state parks and that are specifically preserved for them, and they were working. It's funny. He's right. They're covering it all up, no matter how you want to look at it. And you know, they keep them in a small little area. They keep the parks open, and they tell you to go. You know, it kind of makes it funny. It goes right back down to, you know, population control.
Yeah, I seen those. You know what? We was just that was last night actually. We was walking down here. We was just looking through the thermal, and all the deer were on the road. And lo and behold, you can't make it out very clearly because it was out of the range, but there was a red blob up in the tree watching those deer. And we snapped the picture.
Yeah. I did that because I was looking and I was like, dude, yeah, you're right. There is a blob right there because he gave me it to me. He never snapped the shot.
I'm not good for that, man.
He gave me
I'll
the
look
big-
at it.
And I was like, I hope it's there because I know I watched him and his finger did not move on that little thing. So I put it up there. I seen it right above the deer, and I hit the button, and I was like, and then Josh grabbed it right away. I was like, I hope I took that picture. Yeah,
It was
because
literally
you pushing
up in
buttons
the
and he
tree.
grabbed it.
It was literally in the tree watching the deer. Oh, baby. Oh, I am 91.
Nah, Biggie,
I gotta read that.
I work in construction, man.
I'm
I
90%
could take
sure
that.
these things pop up from underground.
You can
all
yank my chain
creatures
all day
shall
long. It's
have
enjoy.
I hate how these things disappear. Based on the bushes, I study these creatures live every day. Yeah, I think they come out the ground too. But I'm also on the portal thing as well because of the footage that I have from my trail cam at the X. And that also leaves questions as to what these structures really are. What's the purpose of them? You know, that's why, see, we're leaving tomorrow. I want to get up early and run over there to the Mega X at Site 2. I got to throw a trail camera up there. I already have the TF card in there, fresh one. It's 32. And I got fresh batteries in there. I want to go strap a camera to the tree at the Mega X.
We better grab some plaster and
Just in case we
that
get a frame.
container, and while
Yeah.
we're there setting up the trail cams,
You
we're
get a
gonna
good
be
print,
looking
we'll
for a
cast
good
it for the
print to
thing.
cast, because
Laura already sent in her thing for her.
today was a rain day all day. My phone wasn't waterproofed, and I didn't think it would work inside my waterproof pouch that I bought to go fishing. You know, to run videos, I don't think anybody would see anything very clearly.
You need a case like mine, man.
Yeah, I do. So today was a nice rain day. Tomorrow there will be mud. There should be fresh prints because right now we're hearing them moving around. I heard a bunch of owl calls behind the house here. where we go down in our camp. That was them calling for Josh to come down. You know, so we're gonna find these as much as possible. That would be my tracking job, and I'm gonna find the best print possible. I mean, I've been finding good ones, but they're on hillsides. Until we figure out how to cast a print on a slope like this, you know, on a slope like this, that would be awesome because there's some good prints in there, you know, especially with the toe grips. We'd love to get a good cast out of that, but on the hillside, I don't know if it's possible.
I ordered, I can't find the cable. Last night I ordered a new transfer cable, a media, data cable. So I can put this on a computer and let me like through here it's such a tiny screen. But I'm gonna go and let me see, how do I get into that? Menu. Gallery. You go to gallery. Click.
While he's looking there, Biggie, go and look up about the Samaritans because they have a tablet text right there. I mean, I don't know how to speak Samaritan, but they already had it translated, so they were telling the whole story about what the Samaritans believe in. So that would give you the idea of why I said that they created the Sasquatch first, and then they rebelled, and because it was in their text about it, and then they created man to serve them because they wanted the gold and stuff. So the best diggers who would serve the gods and not rebel would have been us. So that's why we weren't as strong as a Sasquatch. That's why we're a little weaker, a little feeble. Sasquatch gave those aliens a run for their money.
You can't zoom or nothing. Can you see it in the tree on this?
I see the deer.
Yeah, it'd be a dark red blotch.
Up on a tree.
I'll have to bring it up on a computer, David.
Where's the one I took?
That is.
That can't be the one I took.
Well, crap.
Because when I took it, all the trees were all white, and there was only one red spot in the tree.
Yeah,
and that's
you
why
moved and they had to recalibrate. That's why everything's red in it.
Oh, when you grabbed it when I was pushing the button.
Yeah, when it's
Yeah.
calibrating.
Yeah, you grabbed it out of my hand as I was snapping, shooting it, taking the snapshot.
I think it is in there, David. I think I see it on there. Yeah.
He would have to upload it properly so he could get a better view out of it, either on his computer or on his cell phone. And then he can see it better that way.
Sorry, I'm scanning. I'm always scanning while I'm out here.
Maybe, Biggie, because
maybe what?
They might have built those pyramids. I mean, they are
Yeah,
pretty strong
I think
to be
so.
moving blocks without the pulley system.
I agree with that. I totally do.
How you build a pier? How you roll big blocks on logs in a desert with no trees, and have that many logs to roll such a big, huge objects like that? I don't know. There's another guy did it, and he did it. He was showing about pivot, using the teeter-totter
Your post.
movement.
Where at Laura? Where do you want me to read the post from? Is it on Squatch Topic or Biggie's or? What are you doing?
Hold on. I don't know why would that be saved, but let's see what she's talking about.
Here, can you scroll up in the chat? We're a comment from Laura.
Oh, okay.
Live chat.
Energized from the sun's solar energy, he says they do not need food. I believe that. I also heard from Ken and Rachel, Arkansas's Bigfoot, that they live inside the actual tree. Rachel is amazing.
medium who speaks to the clan leaders in her area. Aku says they go into the trees too.
Huh.
That's very interesting, Laura.
Yeah.
That gave me a whole new spectrum on when I'm down there observing this. When they come by, that does kind of makes sense in a way because they do appear out of nowhere in an aspect. We're assuming they're cloaking them, and then walking up to the spot, and then we see the eye shines, and then when they uncloak, we see their silhouettes. But maybe I have to look more into that. You guys are actually calling me a tree speaker. Maybe I was doing something right, not knowing.
Interesting solar power. That's interesting. I know trees retain heat. At nighttime when you're doing thermals, you notice towards the top of the tree, it'll come up red because it holds the heat throughout the day. Why not much food makes them so much sense to me? You know what though? They do eat. I know that for a fact. They eat.
I'm trying to figure out what they're eating other than just animals. I'm trying to figure out what vegetations they're eating. They're not eating bark or anything. There's no evidence of ripping bark off trees or something.
Dude, they're eating grubs. They're eating insects.
That I do know because I do seen that. I did see that they were going in for termites and grubs and wood beetles. They were going after. So they must eat them. They're a good source that I heard anyway. So that's a good source of food to eat.
Oh, his first weekend with me down here, we went up to the house to eat, and when we were coming back down, we heard Chaka getting yelled at. It was funny. It was that samurai chatter they call it.
Let me see if I can mimic it because
Go try it.
I still remember the sound in my head.
Well,
and that's what it did sound like, almost to the T, except it was much more higher pitch as a female.
When we got back to camp, we was looking at each other like, what the hell is that? And then whenever we got back to camp, my bag was gone through. Like nothing was stolen, but they went through my contents of my bag and urinated on it. And I got angry and I plopped down in my hammock, and my hammock was full of these black beetles, and they went up in my shirt and started biting me, and Weasel just sat there and laughed at me.
Yeah, because we come
I
down.
was pissed.
I got the pictures of that too. Did I share? I thought I shared them with you.
I don't think you did.
I'll send them back to you so you can put it up on Facebook. I do have a picture of it in our site. That was Chaka, and you could tell we coming down there. We must have scared her or something because she peed down her leg and she left a footprint in the dry dirt. And you could tell because two of her, one was still planted. Must have been the one that had most of the urine run down her leg, but the other one stepped forward about a good 4 feet or something, and it too left a moist spot, not as wet as the other one. But it was funny because she was right there at his hammock, and she was playing a prank on him, drop the beetles.
Maybe
that's
they
why I was
would eat
laughing.
them.
Well, it could be.
Like I know they was watching me. They were watching me because the other day when I was over here with my daughter taking foliage for my ghillie, and then we go in the woods and that night and come out. There's a bundle of these dry foliage the same length that I was pulling off of that over there. A whole bundle of them. Weasel took it down and burned it. But
well, yeah, we had it filmed.
Yeah,
on
it
a
was
split
on there.
screen.
Yeah, that they seen me doing that, and then they brought me a bundle of them. I thought that was unique.
I thought it was unique. They put the bundle right where he was at with his ghillie suit, where he went in.
Yeah, they went
right at the entrance where he crawled in there. They He said he went in there, they weren't there. He come out, there they were. And I was like, and you're saying they didn't know where you were at? They knew where you're at. They
Yeah,
were
I
up
think
there
they're
above
up
the
there.
trees, hovering you, staying with you, while I'm down there trying to film the other ones who were moving.
Oh, Jess, I read all these already.
Well, that's how far the actual video's behind.
Jess is circling things on the chats that were said that she thought I missed. She was circling them for me. See, she's on it.
I'm trying.
Oh yeah, and my buddy Mike just had a baby. Hey, welcome to the world, Audrey. Audrey Eschenbaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. But wow, we've been on here for 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
just bull crap,
Origin of Squatch Topic.
and it turned into a talk. Wow.
Yeah, we do make a good team. We're friends for an awful long time, buddy. Biggie, we should be making a good team. Yeah.
He's been my friend since I was in 7th grade, man. And like I said, he's never screwed me over. The worst thing he's ever done to me was let my bait bucket go. The batteries on the aerator died, and
That's half his fault, though.
it was the last one to check,
I
and all
put
our
new
bait
batteries
died.
in there. 30 minutes later, it was all dead.
Yeah, Tonto.
That's all right, dude. I sent the silent one out.
Oh, but yeah, he's been my friend since 7th grade. He's never screwed me over, thick and thin. You know, he's always been there. So, Weasel. I call him Wild Weasel back in the day.
Yeah. Well, that's because in the back in the day, I was a little wild and, done stupid things that hurt myself too many times. It wasn't funny. Talk about superhuman. I'm surprised I even walked away half the things I did. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why I was Wild Weasel, yeah.
Oh, Biggie, I know you got to number 42 or 46, whatever it was. Did you ever get up near the number 60, 62, up in that area yet? I'm talking about media, guys. He knows what I'm talking about. Or because I know you've been having things going on right now. Yeah, and if you haven't had time to look at it, it's all good. I understand.
Now, I don't know if Bigfoot can zap your equipment and drain your batteries, but I do know that spirits can do that.
I do not say they don't eat food.
If they do exist,
eat
if there's
food,
spirits
no.
down there, I'm sure there is, because when he had the EVP going, names were popping up, and somehow my name came out, and he never said my name while we were down there. So there's no way it was Bigfoot speaking in there with us. Is to know my name like that, that's not a Bigfoot. They don't know my name. They know me as the Weasel, and that's how they know, because that's all he says. Weasel. So they know it's who I am. So, but for my name to come up on EVP, it's something else. And being down there and
You
seeing
look
the
like
things,
Jeff Meldrum.
I know. I'm gonna shave that beard when I get home. I'm gonna get a haircut and shave the beard. It's time for that stuff to go.
I need a haircut too.
Yeah, it's just I think there's a lot more to it down there than just Bigfoot, and I think that's what was draining our stuff, because I get the hair standing on my back.
Yeah, you did have good images tonight.
And there's hairs on my back. I'm ready to get out of there. Bigfoot don't put hair standing up on my back.
I don't know, but when you're talking about, affecting your equipment, I've people who's been following us and following Biggie too. He tells what it is well, and it happened to him tonight. And I think it's ironic, when they are near, like that one time when I did that one where my spotlight died on me, it was fully charged and then it died. That period to where it died, I was smelling. I was clearly on the video saying, you know, "Ooh, I smell something. It smells like poop and BO and dog all mixed together." And then my stuff malfunctioned, and then the audio became crackly, and then my video feed failed. I've had my equipment turn off by itself down there. I've had lights that are fully charged die. I've taken freshly charged batteries down there, and by the time I put them in my stuff, they're already about dead. So I don't know. I think it's the Sasquatch doing it, but I cannot prove that. Something is definitely draining energy sources. But if you look into where sightings of Sasquatches are, they are in pronounced high energy areas. Where I mean by high energy areas, I mean like flowing water, gas wells, stuff like that. I mean, you had an abandoned coal mine running, like it's not on this property, but this property over here and the property over here, the tunnels come from over there and they wide out like that. And over there where the house is, where you guys always see lit up, there's a big coal chamber underneath of there. I think that's where the Chaka and them are sleeping at. But what is, do you smell skunk, dude?
Yeah, that is not me. That is an actual skunk.
That ain't a skunk though, but it smells like a skunk. But it ain't a skunk.
I know, it smells like a skunk. But that is the skunk smell we're smelling.
Ew. But whenever they get close, your equipment begins to fail. I've noticed that. My night vision equipment will shut off by itself. It's getting stronger.
Yeah, that is.
Jess.
You know, don't go to Jess and bring her
No,
out
I
here.
want Jess to come out and smell the air so they know I ain't bullcrapping.
No.
You smell that?
Yeah, I'm going to find the source. Hold on.
Here, take the thermal.
I don't need the thermal.
Yeah, you do. You ain't gonna see crap out there. It's pitch black.
I don't need the thermal, man. I can smell it. It's coming from over here.
From where?
Over here.
Over the side of the house.
Yep.
Is there a skunk over there? Sorry, guys. I gotta.
Hey, dude, the smell's gone. Skunks linger a little bit.
As soon as I stood up with the thermal and aimed it that way, the smell went away.
Yep. The smell went away. It's
It probably
probably on the side of the house.
is on the side of the house.
Probably on the side of the house.
I would go out there and look, but the ground's all wet and nasty, and I got my new slippies on.
And I got no shoes and
My Sasquatch slippers.
standing on concrete, my feet are freezing.
Think you're a Bigfoot spying on. You know what? I believe it, because there was one up on the, I was saying earlier, up on the garage roof, looking through the side windows of the living room at him while he was on the couch. Because I went on the back patio. I looked like, because we don't smoke in the house, you know. And I looked over there and it was. Listen, Jess. Listen.
It smells like skunk out here still.
You smell that?
You just become nose blind to it.
You think I'm nose blind to it?
It stinks out here.
I know it stinks out here. See, told you guys. Yeah, they do love watching us.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, Sparky. Sparky, spark, spark. Yeah, hold this. Don't drop it. Please don't drop it. Come here, Sparky. I'll introduce you guys to Sparky. Come here, Sparky. Over here, buddy. Come here. Come here. He's a miniature pincher mixed with pug and beagle. So he's a min pen puggle mix.
He's a mutt.
Yeah, he is a little mutt.
He's cute, but he has this little thing about it, strangers. and I've been trying to work on him a little bit. I mean, he does, once he lets me, he allows the petting, but he's a little worried. He don't like strangers.
He's annoying at night.
See, well, you guys ain't seen it, but he's giving me that dirty looks because I petted him.
But yeah, those are just my opinions on things, though. You know, and what you're saying about the Samaritan stuff, Weasel, I would love it if you would do some research on that. Go on Google, find me some text of some sort, send it to me. I would love to read up on it.
It's on YouTube. You can find it. Just type in Samaritan, and then a bunch of videos will come up on it.
Well,
And you want to go with the one that has the proper
Pet
research.
me
of ancient-
MT looks. Well, doesn't that make sense, Biggie? Hang on, little Mutt wants to go in the house. You want in, buddy? Okay, go on. Hey, Weasel, I'll be right back, man. You can talk to me.
All right,
for a
yeah.
minute.
Yeah. You can find that. It's on YouTube. I seen it off of YouTube. And it is actually gives you in-depth understanding of our ancestors and their beliefs. I mean, you just go in and you can find almost anything everywhere, especially in South America South America. There's writings on stones in Africa. They have them in Egypt, Middle East. They have them up in Europe. You'll find them. They're everywhere. It's just our ancestors were telling us that the aliens came and visited. So I don't know. I mean, right now, today with the UFO sightings, I would take it. It's our technology. It's like other countries' technology coming over and spying on us, or it's our own government just flying around. And I don't know why they just don't admit that, but why would you? I mean, if you have an advanced technology over your enemies, you don't want them to know until it's time to flex your muscles a little bit. But see, that stunk smell's gone now. It's completely gone. I mean, it's still a little bit, but you ain't smelling it as bad. You ain't nothing over there anymore. If anything went around the other end of the house, the backside, coming up on that side over there. But yeah, we need some footage. We need proof. Everybody who's out there, try to get what you can. Bring the evidence in. We'll all put it on the table and we'll figure out what it is. I think they're a lot more than what we think they are. They're showing abilities are kind of supernatural. I mean, you can't say, well, it's the light that changes their colors. When Josh got touched, I was standing right there beside him. I would think being up that close, I should have seen it. Even reaching out, seen something of a cloaking ability.
Now
Didn't
it just
see
smells like
nothing.
wet dog out here.
Now it smells like wet dog out here.
I'm back. Sorry, I wanted a piece of pie. Did I miss anything good?
No. Well, what do you think? I mean, you think we should gather up as much evidence on research on this subject and have everybody throw it on the table and we'll put it together and see what we come up with?
Here's what I
Because
think.
Laura got something interesting going on, and
Yes, she does.
she can come up with something to show everybody that this is happening, or some way of having some kind of proof on that to throw it onto the table, and that throws it into the puzzle. Put it together, and we'll find out what Bigfoot really are.
Well,
And we could sit here and speculate all night long on that subject. I mean, really, all the evidence that we have, pictures and stuff like that, just I guess it's not cutting it. they're showing more and more of their natural abilities, which just blows everybody's ideas out the water, what they are, and just makes you turn around and have to rethink things again, you know? So yeah, we're going to have to get every evidence out there. I mean, look at this guy. He went out into the wilderness and he saw himself a platypus. Nobody believed in a platypus. He brought the dead animal back and they thought he sewed a beaver's tail
You got a lot of pics.
on an otter and sewn a duck bill on an otter, and that's what it was. And they thought it was fake. But when a lot more people started going into the wilderness in that area, lo and behold, a lot more witnesses were seeing the platypus, and now the cryptid animal that was non-believable is now believable, and it's part of our.
Well, even a beaver, because of the way their tail's shaped, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
People don't believe in that
there's
either.
other creatures out there. They thought they went extinct because people didn't see. Look at the ivory-billed woodpecker. They were believing it was extinct because nobody was seeing them. And then all of a sudden, so everybody was coming out and go, no, look, I got pictures of them. They're right here in my backyard. You scientists need to come out here in the world to look.
On Messenger. All right, check this out. And this has nothing to do with Bigfoot. We said beaver, something popped in my head. Jessica's cousin ran a beaver over once.
All right, Laura, we'll wait.
And he thought
I'd love to see what you got.
he thought he killed it. And he pulled over, he picked it up, and he's holding it up by its tail, it was knocked out. And he looked at his buddy and goes, hey man, there's not a scratch on it. He thought he was gonna get a taxidermy. Well, as soon as he mentioned that there wasn't a scratch on it, it woke up and it bit his nipple clean off. He lived the rest of his life with one nipple. True story. You don't
That's
blame
horrible,
me.
though. I mean, that
It's
would be
horrible.
painful
It's
for a
horrible,
moment.
but it happened, man.
You have to
Jess's
smart to it.
cousin had his nipple bit off by a beaver because he was holding it by his tail. He thought it was dead. And it was just like,
I've done that with a couple animals, but I didn't have them come up and bite my nipple off. I had them come up and bite my hand.
I'm scared of birds, man. I hate birds. They can pop your eye out and fly away with it, and you can't get it back.
Only if you can climb up in the tree and go and play with their nest.
No, man. I've been attacked by chickens. I've been attacked by geese. I've been attacked by ducks. Birds do not like me, and I don't like them.
Geese tax everybody. You can't get nowhere close to a geese.
I'll mess with a dog, man, before I mess with a big bird, especially an ostrich.
Turkeys do the same thing.
Yeah, I don't like turkeys either.
Chickens are funny.
I'll eat 'em.
Chickens are funny. They,
Chickens are good at KFC.
I don't know. I mean, I've been watching a lot of people's chickens. They go, hey, dumbest animals in the world. And I over there looking at it, I was like, I don't know, man. They could be borderline. And they go, what?
They're good eating.
I was like, they show some intelligence in some form, but yeah, I mean, they might be birds with peanut-sized brains, but they got some form of intelligence.
I like dogs and reptiles. Yeah. I'll play with a venomous snake before I mess with a bird.
I always
Hands
did that
down,
when I was
dude.
growing up.
Hands down. I'll play with a rattlesnake before I play with a bird.
I've always done that, and I played with all sorts of. I won't go nowhere near a cockroach. Hey man, those things can eat anything, and they can survive a nuclear holocaust. The only creature on this planet that will survive a nuclear holocaust. Hell, from what I've seen with NASA's experiments, they took a cockroach out in space and see if it will live, and it did.
My old bassist, when I was in the band, his number one fear in life was what do you call it? A grilled cheese sandwich, because he thought that if he would choke on it, it would be impossible for them to dislodge it, because if they try to shove something down, it'll just pop through it and it would just close back up. And he's here comes a truck. But yeah, I think that's funny. I'm scared of a grilled cheese sandwich. comes the truck. Toot, toot. That was a water truck.
Is that a water truck or a gas truck?
That was a water truck.
That means they're fracking. They bring the water up to pumpings for the fracking. But it's not really well water. It has chemicals in there and they're lying to everybody.
Well, this is they have well traffic on this road.
Yeah.
But wow, we've been on for 2 hours and almost 50 minutes. Holy hell. Dude, I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired. Seriously, guys, I'm sorry. I wanted to do this earlier, but what happened was that we wanted to get the kids asleep first. So when Biggie was on, I wrote BRB, be right back. We ran in the house. Jessica put on a YouTube thing for the kids. It was a countdown for New Year's. And we made the kids think that it was later than what it was. We went in there, had a real quick countdown and a celebration. We blew on the little toot toots and everything. And then the kids went to bed. Well, Jessica fell asleep too. So I woke her up, and then she got up, she got herself situated, and she came back in the room. I was sleeping. And I didn't want to get up. So I can't be earlier than this. So yeah, that's why we were so late. I apologize. I fell asleep. When I come out here, I don't understand. When I come out here and I go in these woods, I become extremely tired. I feel drained when I leave these woods. When you're down there, you're tired too for some reason.
Well, the terrain's tough and it's a steep hill. So even though we're going down in levels, it goes like this, and then you go down another hill, and then you get another little level. It's about like, what would you say, like 20? No, that would be like 70. No, that would be more than that. It's like about 100 feet wide in each tier. And then once you get to the last tier where we were showing you guys when we were watching the wood lines by the camp, that goes down from the rest of the way down. There is no more level like we had. So it starts going down. So the terrain is very tough, and it does tire most anybody out, unless you're physically
Well, you figure
fit.
if you go down the ravine, all right, if you go from this side here and you go down the ravine, when we go up where we lose signal at real bad, that's about I'd say about an 80-foot
No, that's from right here where we start out, and we
No.
start
I'm
heading
talking
down
about
all
when we
the way
cross
down.
the ravine and when we go up that really big ridge where you literally have to climb up.
What I also was going to say, that was close to 200 feet straight up.
You think 200 feet?
Yeah, that's pretty well 200 feet. That's pretty deep going down in there, man.
I doubt it's 200 feet.
No, it's 200 feet.
It's a big cliff. That's why I lose reception when we go down by the ravine, because it's literally, it's like a soup bowl. That's why when we're down there, all right, like if you look, you'll see lights real high up. It's because we're almost like in a bowl. Like I'll have to show you guys during the day one time.
Hold on, Laura made a good comment.
What'd she say?
We have to celebrate for that, okay?
Okay.
Laura says, first live for 2023. Yay! We're
Ah!
number one.
We were the first doing the split screen hunt,
Yep.
and then we're the first for 2023.
Happy New Year's from Squatch Topic, PA.
Hold on. Where's the toot toot? I got a toot toot. We can celebrate.
No, it's too early for that.
I don't care.
Really, you want to wake up?
I can do a toot toot.
All right.
We're leaving this with the bag of apples too, by the way, because when we leave with the big structure down there, because because I want to leave this with the bag of apples up there, and if something takes it, I think it would be unique if the trail cam sensor goes off and you're hearing in the background this thing tooting. I think that would be cool.
That would be cool.
That would be cool if we come back to go camping again and we're down there, and you just start hearing this thing tooting coming down the hill. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I would. When we go down there, when you go to prop up on the gifting site with the apples, and you got to put that down, blow it first. Let them see you blow it, so they know what it is and how do you work it.
Good call, because you know they'll be watching us.
Yep. And like the chalkboard, when you said they were dotting a thing, you should have went and drew like little stick figures.
I did. Remember, I drew a line
did
in the
you?
middle. I had a stick figure handing a bag of
Oh, you
apples to
did?
a giant stick figure, and I had a tree drawn on there,
Oh, I thought
with
about
it
that.
peeking around the tree, and I had a line
must have
drawn
missed
on
it.
it for a blank space for them to draw something in return. Instead of drawing something in return, they flipped it over and they just put a bunch of dots all over it,
They
like
didn't,
they were tapping it.
they didn't want to ruin your drawing, so they didn't do the other half.
Well,
of
the rain
board.
ruined the drawing.
Yeah, but you get my point where I'm coming from.
yeah, they were tapping on it with the chalk. I mean, some people say, oh, maybe they were mimicking stars on there.
It did look like that in a way. I mean, what else did I get to see at night when you're rooting through the forest? You know, you look up and you see the stars. You know,
That
nice
makes
and
sense.
bright, and you can see all the constellations and everything else.
I bet you they ate the chalk,
Yeah.
or they took it and it was drawn on the
No,
walls.
I believe they would because all children do it.
I got 14% battery left on my phone, guys. Yeah, we've been on pushing 3 hours. I'm gonna let everybody go. I'm gonna go to bed because I want to get up tomorrow. I gotta do this gifting. I don't know what time my wife wants to leave here, so I gotta get my stuff packed up tomorrow to go. I have to go put a trail cam at the X at Site 1. I have to go put a trail cam and a bag of apples and a toot at Site 2 Mega X. And then what we'll do when we come back next time, I'll bring fresh cords with me. I'll swap the batteries. I'll swap the cords. And when I get home, I'll review the footage. Throw it up on Facebook. And videos. I'll probably compile if there's something cool. What I'll do is because it does a picture, then it does a 10-second video. I send all the photos to Biggie. He reviews them. If he finds anything, he sends it back circle. So what I'll do is just like this portal video I'm waiting. Biggie sends me them back. It'll be the still shot, the portal active, still shot video, and it'll go along. And then if Biggie finds something in the still shot, it'll be the still shot, and then the next frame will be the still shot with the circle of what Biggie found, and then it'll go to the video. So you guys will have clarity of what's going on. So I apologize about. I wasn't going to even release the footage of the portal, but transparency. You guys have the right to know about what's happening in the woods. Hey, thanks, David. Duct tape for Josh's mouth with the next ghillie hunt. You know what, though? They didn't see me. They was looking for me.
Yeah, and the next time we do that, Josh is going to have to. He's supposed to be posted up there, and I go down there or whatever. We do that next time. I'll let you know where he's at. You'll do that little flashlight thing, and then I'm gonna go and do my own thing. And I won't leave that tier level that we're on. So I'm gonna be going from right to left
Technically,
and stay on that level. Because if I can start going down away from him, further out of sight completely, then they have every opportunity to do whatever they would like to do. Which got me a little worried because a couple of things I heard several times, I'm still trying to find out who's him. Him and Dawn were down there one time. We had Dawn one with us, and Josh had Dawn's attention. I was gathering up things, and right behind me, I heard a female's voice says, "I want him to leave and him to stay." I don't know who's him. Yeah. And I don't know which one that said that either. It could have been Chaka. It could have been the white one. It could have been some other female over down there. It was a female's voice.
I bet you they wanted me to stay because I'd be down there singing to them and everything.
Probably.
I entertain them.
Probably.
Like, I can't do the things that I do down there on YouTube because I'll get copyright hits. You know, like, I jam for them and they love music. Kids songs. They like Elmo, Sesame Street. They like Herman the Worm is their favorite. I got yanked out of my hammock one time by a juvenile. I kept this to myself for the longest time because I was embarrassed about it. This little Sasquatch was about the size of my 6-year-old, and it dragged me out of my hammock because the damn speaker died in the middle of the Herman the Worm song. Yeah. So, yeah, dude. And the little one, man, it dragged me right out of my hammock. I'm like, and it's a little one, dude. It was like 3.5 foot tall.
Did you hear anybody?
They're strong.
You hear anybody yell at?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? That was
Yeah.
probably Chaka yelling out.
I started yelling and cussing at it. It let me go. It whooped and it ran up the hill, and then I started hearing it get yelled at. I think it was Chaka yelling at it.
Yep, leave him alone.
That was interesting. That scared the crap out of me. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it would scare the crap out of me too, especially when I was in my hammock. He goes, "Weasel, you were asleep," and I was like, "No, I'm not, dude." I was like, "My hammock's closer to that bottom of that hillside where we stand all the time and watch straight down, and my hammock lays right there. So they come up right up out of there, and I'm the first one they approach because I'm the first one there to approach." And he goes, "Oh yeah, you be sleeping and stuff." I'm not sleeping, man. I'm just playing possum for a little bit. This thing's standing over top of me, and I don't know its true attention, and and I don't want to, cause anything to make it become aggressive by any means. So I'm gonna lay like a possum and pretend I'm sleeping, and see what it does.
That night when I was on the video call with Biggie,
I had in my hand on my knife.
Chaka came underneath of the tarp, and she was on the tree that his head and my head was both tied on. He was going this way. It was like this. And she was right here underneath of the tarp, literally.
Yeah.
And Biggie was on the phone.
He's calling for me.
You were sleeping, dude.
No,
I'm going,
yeah, that's what he was doing. He was like, "Weasel, Weasel." And I'm like, "I ain't answering you, dude." I don't even know exactly which one it was, but I knew it was standing right beside me. I'm like, "I'm not answering you, dude. I'm sorry, man. Why don't you pick your head up and turn around and look? And you see why I'm not answering you right now, all right?" I don't think he would answer anybody, too, if he noticed something big, huge silhouette standing over top of him while he's in his hammock, and I'm over here calling his name. "Josh, Josh, Josh." He ain't going to answer me either. He's going to sit there and play possum, too. Go, "I ain't moving yet until I figure out what this wants of me."
He was doing that night. They was lifting up the tarp, looking underneath that.
Yeah, I was watching
You'd be sitting there, you hear them run up, and then you'd hear the tarp move. You look over because it's anchored down. You see an eye shine. Your tarp lift up, and you see half a face right there, eye shining,
I'm
looking
not like
right at
Josh.
you.
I don't sleep much as he does, and if I do, it's only like an hour or two anyways. It's a quick power nap. I don't need to sleep, especially when I'm in the woods knowing that there's something roaming around. I like to stay aware at all times. I kind of like to be the watchdog. Yeah, for our safety. Somebody's have to be a watchdog. You can't trust the camera and ain't gonna scream out and go, "Hey guys, run!" You know what I mean? And the cameras just take the whole pictures and show the whole thing. No. We need somebody to stay awake the whole time, as much as possible. And I know when he's up and he's awake and stuff, I'll hurry up and take the quick power nap. And he goes, "You're sleeping." Well, yeah, I have to take a quick power nap because as soon as I hear you snore, I'm up.
Then you got Don Juan when he comes out. He begs me to quit calling him.
Yeah, he was so scared he didn't want nothing to do with it. He goes, "This is the last time I'm coming out, man. I think they're demons." That's his perspective on them. Now maybe there's really no actual
And he was a
proof
non-believer.
behind them, but I mean, he was a non-believer.
A total non-believer. He used to pick on you over it.
Yep. Until he saw what they did. I mean, all he saw was, he didn't see them like I saw them.
No, all he saw was silhouettes and eye shines.
That's all he saw.
And he heard them.
And what got him really good is when he first seen the eye shine and he saw it. He goes, "That's a deer laying down." And then when it stood all the way up, he goes, "Deers don't stand that tall."
And I was like, keep watching it. And then it stood the whole way up. And he just looked at me. Sweat started beading down. His eyes were dilated. It looked like he was tearing up. And he wouldn't even sleep in his hammock. He curled up next to the fire.
He like a little, this guy here is as big as a Sasquatch, and he's over here is curled up right beside me and Josh.
And he left the next morning.
Yeah.
He stayed one night.
He goes, "All right, I gotta
He
go."
came back though. He came back a couple times.
Once. He came back one more time, that was it.
Oh.
Yeah. I had to go with him the next day because he was my only ride. And Josh had a lot of stuff packed, and there wouldn't have been no room for me. And I brought a little extra more equipment because I knew I could bring more.
Shh.
There it is. Oh, a dog or something.
Oh, that was Knox.
Was that an dog?
That was 4 knocks. I've never heard 4 knocks.
That's new.
Yeah, that is new. I've never heard 4 knocks. Never. I've heard 1, 2, and 3s. I've never heard 4s.
Wonder what that is.
You hear that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the phone can hear it.
All right, before your phone dies, you have to close out and then you have to upload it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So,
Yeah, guys, it's that time. My phone's gonna die.
all right.
That was
everybody.
cool though. We just heard 4 knocks. I've never heard 4 knocks before, guys. That's new. I wonder what that means. I know 2 knocks is food. 1 knock means you're here. 3 knocks, I'm still questionable about it, but 4 knocks, I've never heard that. All right, guys. Well, hey, Happy New Year's. Thank you for chilling with us for 3 hours and BSing. I hope you enjoyed what Jessica had to say. She's the reason this all started. She's the one that enlightened me on it. Tomorrow, I mean, it's been wet. So tomorrow we're going to go out, do our gifting. We're going to do our trail cams. And then we're going to have the plaster stuff with us. That way, come across the print, we're going to try to get it done. Because we need to get this print casted and we need to get it mailed out.
Yeah.
We need to get that mailed. Somebody that needs to be happy with a footprint.
Yeah, we got to get them because he mentioned them. I told him, I was like, dude, you should have waited until we got some cast going first before you want to offer that, man.
No, I
So
want
now
them
you
to
gotta-
see it being casted. That way they know where it came
Right.
from. It ain't going to be none of this crap. Well, I got all these casts and you got plaster on
That
it.
is
No.
understandable because while we're out there looking for that stuff, you usually go live anyway, so they're going to see us do it. But where I was coming from was trying to tell them is that we should have had that already going before he mentioned anything. So that made us have to work a lot more harder to find the perfect print to start casting, and hopefully we can find just more than one we can cast, or we can cast that same one before we destroy the print. So we'll see what we can do tomorrow. Since today was a rain day, tomorrow should be a nice print day. That's what I'm hoping anyway. So
Are you shivering?
yeah, it's starting to get cold for me because I have no shoes on my feet.
I got my Sasquatch slippers.
So as that all said and done, y'all have a wonderful holiday.
Well, I'm setting up the camera and the gifting. Then you could, since you're the tracker, you could go look for prints. Do you guys want us to go split screen? Like him and I could split up. He could go look for prints, and I could go do the gifting thing at the same time, and you could, and I don't know. That's up to y'all. I mean, do you want us to split screen it, or do you just want us to go on the one phone? That also depends if it's raining, because I don't want your phone getting jacked up.
Right. Well, it shouldn't rain tomorrow.
No?
No, today was the only rain day.
Okay. So what do you guys think? Should we split screen it tomorrow, or should we just go normal?
We'll do the split screen because you guys like that. And then you'll know where we're both at and what we're both doing, so y'all can see us what we're doing.
Yeah, that's true, because you might be over there and I'm over there, and then they hear a tree knock over there and I don't hear it over there, you know? All right, that's what we'll do then. We'll go split screen tomorrow morning when I get up. We'll go do what we got to do. It's not going to be a long live, though, because I know, you know, when my wife's ready to go, she's ready to go. So, dude, I keep hearing things, man. I think they're watching us.
Yeah, I think so too.
But you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your, well, actually it's day. But you have a squatch-tastic evening. Happy New Year. Squatch Topic PA loves all of you.
Squatch Topic and the Weasel File. We love you. Y'all have a good time for the holiday. Y'all be safe. Be careful.
Don't drink and drive.
Show
It's
some
hazardous to
kindness.
your health.
And we'll see you on the next one tomorrow. You'll all, like he just said, have a Squatch Topic time.
And when you're in the woods and you feel like something's watching you, 9 times out of 10, something is. On that note, God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye. Split screen it is tomorrow, buddy.